as if to touch this light, and bring the light down to your forehead. Imagine the yellow triangle of air superimposed over the upper part of your body. Vibrate. Shaddai El Chai. Then picture the black triangle of earth covering the lower portion of your body. Bring your hand down as if pointing to the ground and vibrate. Adonai Ha Aretz. Visualize the red triangle of fire superimposed over the right side of your body. Touch your right shoulder and intone Yod He Vav He Za Ba Oth. Imagine the blue triangle of water covering the left side of your body. Touch your left shoulder and intone Elohim Za Ba Oth. Bring both hands together, interlocking the fingers with the palms outward, and touch the area of your heart with your knuckles. Imagine the sigil of the spirit wheel in white at the center of your body, uniting the four elemental triangles. Imagine the brilliant light above your head connected with the sigil of spirit. Vibrate. Ith. Continue the fourfold breath with the following visualizations. Inhale, imagine the fire triangle. Full hold, imagine the water triangle. Exhale, imagine the air triangle. Empty hold, imagine the earth triangle. Imagine all the elemental triangles within your psyche balanced and in harmony under the guidance of spirit. Chapter 8. Yoga, Chakras, and the Wisdom of the East. As Regardie stressed in Chapter 4, the Kabbalistic Sephiroth, particularly those of the middle pillar, bear some resemblance to the chakra system of yoga, the Hindu mystical tradition. Many people, including authors, make the common mistake of calling Tifereth the heart chakra, or referring to Yesod as the moon chakra. In fact, the cover of Llewellyn's second edition of Regardie's The Middle Pillar shows the chakras superimposed over the Kabbalistic tree of life, with the twin serpents of the caduceus of Hermes. As easy as it is for some to transpose the terms sephira and chakra, this habit should be avoided, since it only adds to confusion between the two systems. It would be better to refer to the Sephiroth of the middle pillar exercise as Galgalim, which is Hebrew for whirlings. There are 5 Sephiroth on the middle pillar in contrast to 7 chakras in the Eastern system. The Sephira of Kether can be said to generally correspond to the crown and brow chakras, while the shadowy sphere of Dath can be compared to the throat chakra. Tifereth approximates the heart and solar plexus chakras. Yesod has certain similarities with the navel chakra, and while Malkuth can be compared in some ways to the root chakra, the 10th Sephira is centered in the feet and ankles, while the root chakra is at the base of the spine. But differences between the Kabbalistic and yoga systems are great. As we have seen, some of the Sephiroth and the chakras are similar, but not exact. Take all of the 10 Sephiroth into consideration, and this similarity is diminished. The Sephiroth and the chakras have different functions, different correspondences, and a host of other attributes that are specific to the cultural roots of each system. Whereas the chakras are located along the spine and are linked to the endocrine glands and nerve centers, the Sephiroth have little correspondence with the inner organs and are located on the midline of the body. The colors assigned to the Sephiroth are also much different from those of the chakras. Furthermore, the chakras are activated from the lowest to the highest, the exact opposite of the Western system, in which the highest is always invoked first. In many ways, the middle pillar exercise is a much safer practice than the Eastern technique of activating the chakras through Kundalini Yoga, which requires a competent instructor to teach it properly. In Kundalini Yoga, it is possible for the student to activate more power than he or she can safely handle, resulting in a shock of the psychic mechanism. This is not true of the middle pillar, which never bestows more energy than the student can manage. and which can easily be learned without the benefit of a teacher. Here we will briefly describe the basics of yoga so that the reader will have a better understanding of the differences and the similarities between the two systems. Both methods provide valid psychological and spiritual tools for the balance, healing, and integration of the human psyche. They relate to different parts of the subtle body, and thus each system requires a different method of working. Yoga. It is presumed that yoga was developed in India by the inhabitants of the Indus River Valley. The exact methods and philosophy of the practice were gathered into a coherent system by Patanjali, a philosopher of the 2nd century BCE. The various disciplines of yoga are not restricted to Hindus. However, for people of all faiths have studied and practiced them. The Sanskrit word yoga means union, and from it is derived the English word yoke. This implies a harnessing of our latent psychic energies. Yoga is a science of physical, mental, and spiritual integration. It is a systematic method of self-development and mystical ascent to universal wholeness on all levels of being. The main objective of yoga is the purification of the soul in order that the incarnated ego may be liberated from the karmic wheel. There are several different types of yoga, such as Bhakti Yoga, union through devotion, Dharma Yoga, union through the virtues of religious duties, Hatha Yoga, union through physical discipline, breathing, and postures, Karma Yoga, union through proper action or work in daily life, Kriya Yoga, union through the sacred outlook in everyday life, domestic ritual, and purification, Laya Yoga, union through developing the serpent fire or Kundalini force, Mantra Yoga, union through spells and incantations, Raja Yoga, union through meditation. Hatha Yoga, which emphasizes physical and mental discipline, is by far the most popular type of yoga. The various asanas, or postures of Hatha Yoga, are the practices that most Westerners associate with Eastern mysticism. Pranayama, or the breath way, includes numerous techniques of breath control and vital energy manipulation. The discipline of concentration on a symbol or object is known as dharana, holding. This is the ability to hold one image in the mind to the exclusion of all outside distractions. Closely affiliated with Hatha Yoga and sometimes considered a part of it is Laya Yoga, which is dedicated to the development of the subtle body, including the chakras and the mysterious force known as prana. Prana. According to the system of yoga, vital life force, called prana, courses through the human body by means of a network of minute conduits or canals known as nadis. This psycho-physical circuitry is often called the subtle body. In yoga, the physical body is refined not simply for its own sake, but in order that it may serve the subtle body. The main nadi or conduit is called the sushumna, which runs from the bottom of the spine to the top of the cranium. Along its length from the sushumna connects the 7 chakras or main energy centers. Many more chakras are said to exist within the body, but all are governed by the primary 7. The 2 other important nadis are known as the Ida and the Pingala. They start at the base of the spine and wind around the sushumna like strands of DNA. The Ida ends at the left nostril and is associated with the moon and the left side of the body. The Pingala terminates at the right nostril and corresponds to the sun and the right side of the body. These 2 nadis take in prana from the surrounding environment, and they are important to the practice of pranayama or the discipline of breath control. The ability to control breathing is equated with the ability to control the amount of prana retained in the body. In this way, the revitalizing prana energy can be fully utilized to the benefit of the practitioner. The chakras. The chakras, the wheels or lotus flowers, are power centers within the aura that correspond to certain glands or organs in the body. They are reservoirs of vibrant energy, psychic sense organs, where prana energy is concentrated in the human body. They can be described as spinning whirlpools of energy that exist at certain crossroads where mind and body, or spirit and matter, meet. These centers are listed in both position and level of consciousness from the lowest to the highest. They are often visualized as discs or orbs of color running up the center of the body. The mental, psychic, and physical state of any individual can be characterized by analyzing the level of vibrant energy at every chakra. In the average human being, this vital energy is confined to the 3 lowest centers. As the individual undergoes the process of spiritual growth, the majority of energies are transferred to the higher chakras. These psychic centers must be developed, like any growing flower, so that their petals are allowed to open and bloom. Like the Western Sephiroth, each chakra has a series of correspondences attributed to it. These include colors, sounds, deities, symbols, planets, exercise positions or asanas, and parts of the body, among a host of other associations. All these correspondences can be called upon for meditation and ritual work with the chakras. Tattvas. Before describing the individual chakras, we must mention a few words about the tattvas. The word tattva means quality and is used to describe a characteristic, essence, truth, or element. There are 5 primary tattvas which conform to the 5 basic elements. These tattvas are also used as emblems for some of the chakras. The first element of earth corresponds to the tattva known as Prithivi, which is represented by a yellow square. Traits of this element include cohesion, materialization, and solidarity. Apas is attributed to water, the second element and principle of liquid, portrayed by a silver crescent. Tejas corresponds to fire, the third element, symbolized by a red triangle. Its attributes include transmutation and heat. Vayu is assigned to air, the fourth element, represented by a blue circle. Vayu symbolizes motion and the principle of vapor or gas. The fifth and final element of ether or spirit is referred to as Akasha, symbolized by a black oval. Unity and limitlessness are its characteristics. The 7 chakras. 1. Muladhara, the base or root chakra. The first chakra is located at the sacrum at the base of the spine, near the anus. Associated glands/organs are the ovaries, the testes, and the pelvic plexus. The traditional color of this chakra is yellow. An alternate color given for this center is red, sometimes called the earth chakra. Its symbol is Prithivi, the yellow square of elemental earth. Basic survival needs are the focus of this center. Muladhara means basic, fundamental, or simply root base. This center is associated with the physical self, elimination of waste, and basic needs of movement, sustenance, support, grounding, survival, and protection from danger. It also controls the function of sex, a role it shares with the second chakra. Bowel and sexual dysfunctions result from psychic blocks at the base center. 2. Svadhisthana, the navel chakra, controls sexuality. It is located about 3 inches below the navel. Associated organs are the kidneys and the adrenal glands. The generative organs and the hypogastric, lower abdominal, plexus are also attributed here. Traditionally, this chakra is colored light blue. An alternative color is vermilion, brilliant orange-red. The symbol of this center is Apas, the silver-white crescent of elemental water. The word Svadhisthana means one's own self, or dwelling place of the self. Sometimes called the moon chakra, the Svadhisthana controls the balance and flow of bodily fluids. Its functions to preserve the human species through procreation. The issues of family, home, health, and security also correspond here, as well as the raw vitality of gut-level emotion, unfettered desire, and the unconscious. Fluid imbalances, such as anemia, are controlled through this center. 3. Manipura. The solar plexus chakra is located just below the sternum. Manipura means diamond or city of precious stone. The pancreas, liver, and spleen are also associated here. The traditional color of this chakra is red. An alternative color is gold. Its symbol is Tejas, the red fire triangle. This chakra is the center of metabolic energy, enthusiasm, ego, identity, and the personal will for power and control. Its foundation is the individual's personal being or essence. Anyone who has ever experienced the sensation of having a knot in the stomach when anxious or tense will appreciate the importance of the solar plexus center. Continuous stress at this center may cause a number of gastrointestinal disorders. 4. Anahata. The heart chakra, in the middle of the chest, is the center of love, feelings, and connection, relationships, associations, cooperation, and compassion. It is also the center of meditation, devotion, and prayer. The word anahata means unstruck sound, implying that its sound is completely inner, a silent sound. The thymus gland and the cardiopulmonary plexus are associated here. The traditional color of the fourth chakra is green. An alternate color is deep red. Its symbols are Vayu, the blue circle of elemental air, and the blue hexagram or six-pointed star. The center is the bridge between the more physical energies of the first three chakras and the transcendence energies of the final three centers. Disorders of the heart and lungs fall under the realm of the fourth chakra. 5. Vishuddha, the throat chakra, is located in the hollow of the throat. The thyroid and parathyroid glands are associated here, along with the vocal cords and the pharyngeal plexus. The name Vishuddha means purity. The traditional color for this center is purple. An alternate color is gold. Its symbol is the akasha, or black egg of the spirit. The fifth chakra controls respiration, auditory functions, cleansing, sensations, intuition, perception, psychic ability, communication, creativity, and self-expression. It is a center of focus and direction. When psychic blockage occurs at this center, it is usually described as a feeling of being all choked up or having a lump in the throat. Malfunctions of the thyroid as well as speech and hearing disorders are under the dominion of the fifth chakra. The essence of this center is associated with sound, particularly vibration. In yoga, the Visuddha is a very important center of the alchemical transmutation. It is also said to produce a secretion of immortality. 6. Ajna. The brow, or third eye chakra, is located in the forehead. It is associated with the pituitary gland and the frontal lobes of the brain. The word ajna means order or command, which indicates that activation of this chakra is indicative of true order and mastery. The traditional color here is translucent blue. An alternative color is white. Its symbol is a circle with two wings or petals, which correspond to two pituitary lobes and two major nadis of Pingala, right petal, and Ida, left petal. This center controls all higher intellectual functions: imagination, intuition, insight, consciousness, spiritual wisdom, knowledge, and true sight. Activation of the sixth chakra is thought to be responsible for all experiences of astral vision and astral traveling, as well as all encounters with the higher self. It is attributed to the element of light. 7. Sahasrara. The crown chakra, located at or above the top of the head, is associated with the pineal gland and the cerebral cortex. Traditionally, this center is given the various colors of the rainbow. An alternate color is clear. The word Sahasrara means thousand-petaled lotus, which is the symbol of this chakra, alluding to the thousands of brain cells within the cerebrum. The seventh chakra controls all aspects of mind and body, and it regulates the activities of all the other chakras. Its energy is often described as pure thought, spiritual understanding, bliss, peace, eternal life, superconsciousness, and the divine white light. The seventh chakra is activated at peak instances of oneness with the divine. It is said to be the abode of Shiva, illuminated consciousness, whose demolishes ignorance and illusion. We should add that although the chakras are correlated to certain physical organs, glands, or nerve centers, they are not solely physical centers. To think of them in this way is to fall into the trap of Western rationalization. Anyone who believes that the chakra system is a network of purely physical organs and responses will never be able to experience the raising of the Kundalini. Since they are partially corporeal and partially incorporeal, the chakras can influence and be influenced by both the material and spiritual worlds. The subtle body of the individual is affected by his or her physical habits, diet, posture, physical tension, etc., as well as mental and psychological habits, thought processes, emotions, imagination, aptitude, etc. Kundalini. The vital energy that is used to activate the chakras is called Kundalini, a Sanskrit word that means serpent power. This fiery transformative energy has been described as a sleeping coiled serpent which rests in the lower chakra of Muladhara. Through the spiritual disciplines of yoga, exercise, breath control, and meditation, this serpent power is stimulated. It rises up the spine, vitalizing, purifying, and equilibrating each chakra it comes into contact with. With each chakra thus attained, the individual reaches new plateaus of spiritual development. Raising the Kundalini from the lowest to the highest chakra is the Eastern method for attaining higher levels of consciousness that are associated with the experience of union with the divine. It is equivalent to the various stages of the great work of Western mystics and magicians. Tradition says that when the Kundalini unites with the crown chakra, the result is a shock to the nervous system, which arouses the pineal gland out of its dormancy to provide the practitioner with various siddhis, or psychic/sensory powers that have been lost through neglect. Many yogis warn against practicing Kundalini yoga without a teacher and without extensive practice in Hatha yoga. This is because the Kundalini energy may encounter impurities and psychic blockages in the subtle body as it flows upward. The fiery energy of the Kundalini tries to burn its way through such obstacles. If too much obstruction is experienced, the serpent force may induce extreme physical and mental repercussions as the blocks are removed. A far safer method of working with the chakras is to simply visualize them within the aura and contemplate their various attributes. Chakra awareness. Many asana positions and breathing exercises are intended to purify and invigorate the chakras, removing any blocks from the subtle body. Although such blocks usually have a psychological basis, they often result in physical problems, such as digestive disorders. This psychosomatic tensions can be diffused gradually by focusing the mind on the chakras. The way to do this is to concentrate the various symbols and correspondences that the chakra system provides. These include geometric symbols, colors, gods and goddesses, Sanskrit letters, animals, and sounds used as mantras. Chakra awareness exercise. 1. Be seated in a meditative position on the floor or in a chair. Relax, but be sure that your spine is straight. Begin to breathe slowly and rhythmically through your nostrils. As you inhale, draw the air into the lower part of your chest, filling the lungs to their fullest capacity without strain. Maintain this relaxed pattern of deep, full breathing throughout the exercise. 2. Imagine a disc or center of light at the base of your spine. Visualize a yellow square within this disc. As you focus on the square, breathe in and begin to notice the weight of your body, its density and mass. Breathe out and visualize the yellow square again. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Lang. Place special emphasis on the nasal ng sound, extending the latter sound out with the remaining breath. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the word Lam, extending the of the mantra. Repeat this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. 3. Imagine a light blue disc just a few inches below your navel. Visualize a silver-white crescent within this disc. As you focus on the navel center, breathe in and begin to notice that the horns of the crescent are upturned to form a cup. Imagine this cup filled to the brim with pure, sacred water. Feel this water flowing throughout your body, cleansing and purifying it. Breathe out and again visualize the silver crescent within the light blue disc. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Vang. Emphasize the ng sound, extending it out with the remaining breath. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the word Vam, extending the M of the mantra, repeating this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. 4. Imagine a disc of light just a few inches below your sternum. Visualize a red triangle within this disc. As you focus on the solar plexus center, breathe in and imagine the red color of the triangle glowing hot. Feel the heat from this center spreading to all parts of your body. As the heat spreads, visualize it burning away all toxins and impurities. Breathe out and visualize the red triangle cooling a bit, returning to its original temperature. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Rang, emphasizing the ng sound, extending it out with the remaining breath. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the word Ram, extending the M of the mantra. Repeat this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. 5. Imagine a green disc of light in the area of your heart. Visualize a blue hexagram within this disc. As you focus on the heart center, breathe in and imagine that you are filled with the breath and spirit of God. Feel the cool breath of the vast sky flowing through you as if your body were porous. Your heart opens with a feeling of compassion for all things. For a moment, you imagine the golden sun with its healing rays in the center of your heart. Breathe out and again visualize the blue hexagram within the green disc. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Yang. Emphasize the ng sound, extending it out with the remaining breath. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the word Yam, extending the M of the mantra. Repeat this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. 6. Imagine a violet disc of light in the hollow of your throat. Visualize a black oval or egg shape within the disc. As you focus on the throat center, breathe in and imagine that you can hear the heartbeat of the universe. You are aware of angelic choirs singing softly in some far-off heaven, and you have the feeling that if you opened your mouth to speak, your words would drip honey and have the aroma of jasmine. Breathe out and again visualize the black oval within the violet disc. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Hang. Emphasize the ng sound, extending it out with the remaining breath. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the word Ham, extending the M of the mantra. Repeat this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. 7. Imagine a center of clear translucent blue in the middle of your forehead. Within this disc, visualize a white circle with 2 wings on either side. As you focus on the brow center, breathe in and imagine that the wing or petal on the right side is golden like the sun, while the left-hand wing is silvery like the moon. Inhale and notice the solar side glowing brightly on the right. Exhale and visualize the lunar side beginning to shine. Breathe in and again visualize the white winged circle within the clear blue disc. Breathe deeply, then intone the mantra Om, extending the M of the mantra. On the following inhalation, mentally intone the same word. Repeat this mantra cycle 3 or 4 times. Continue to breathe rhythmically and visualize an eye in the center of the brow chakra. Now imagine the eye opening. Through it, you are able to perceive the divine light of the higher realms. 8. Imagine a clear disk of light above your head. Within this disk, visualize a lotus flower with 1,000 petals. Each petal is colored in one of the hues of the rainbow. All the colors of the universe are contained within this flower. At the center of the lotus is the white brilliance and true peace of the divine light. Inhale and feel a stream of energy extending up your spine, connecting all the chakras you have visualized on your ascent to the lotus crown. Exhale and imagine the divine light from the center of the lotus descending, passing through all of the chakra centers, cleansing, maintaining, and balancing each one. Do this several times. There is no sound or mantra that can do the crown center justice. There is only the silence of the divine union. Breathe in and again visualize the lotus flower within the disk of clear light. 9. After all the centers have been meditated on, descend the path of the chakras from the crown to the base. Visualize each center briefly on your journey backwards, and be aware of how all the chakras seem more vitalized and equilibrated. When finished with the base chakra, take some time to become conscious of your surroundings before attempting to get up and move about. Suggested readings: A Chakra and Kundalini Workbook by Dr. John Mumford, Llewellyn Publications, 1994. Chakras by Harish Yohari, Inner Traditions, 1988. Energy, Ecstasy, and Your 7 Vital Chakras by Bernard Gunther, Borgo Press, 1983. Laya Yoga by Shyam Sundar Goswami, Routledge and Keegan Paul, 1980. Kundalini and the Chakras by Genevieve Paulson, Llewellyn Publications, 1991. The Kundalini Experience, Psychosis or Transcendence by Lee Sannella, MD, Integral Pub, 1988. Wheels of Life by Anodea Judith, Llewellyn Publications, 1987. Chapter 9. The Pentagram. The Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, sometimes called the LBRP, is one of the most important magical tools that the ceremonial magician has at his disposal. The following rendition is only slightly different from the one presented in Chapter 3. It is the version that we prefer to use. The Kabbalistic Cross. Stand and face east. Imagine a brilliant white light touching the top of your head. Reach up with the index finger or blade of a dagger to connect with the light and bring it down to the forehead. Touch and vibrate Ta, thou art. Touch the breast and bring the dagger, blade, or index finger down till it covers the heart or abdominal area, pointing down to the ground. Imagine the light descending from the forehead to the feet. Vibrate Malkuth, the kingdom. Touch the right shoulder and visualize a point of light there. Vibrate Vigebura, the power. Touch the left shoulder and visualize a point of light there. See the horizontal shaft of light extending from the opposite shoulder to join this point of light. Vibrate Vegedula, the glory. Imagine a completed cross of light running from head to foot and shoulder to shoulder. Bring the hands outward, away from the body, and finally bring them together again, clasped on the breast, as if praying or interlocking the fingers. Vibrate Le Olam, Amen, forever unto the ages. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Stand and face east. Perform the Kabbalistic cross as described above. Still facing east, use a dagger or the index finger of the right hand to trace a large, lesser banishing pentagram. Thrust the dagger tip or index finger through the center of the pentagram and vibrate Yod He Vav He, the tetragrammaton. Keep the right hand extended throughout. Never let it drop. The pentagrams should be visualized in a flaming blue or white light. Turn to the south and trace the same pentagram there. Charge the figure as before, intoning Adonai, Lord. Turn to the west and trace the pentagram. Charge it with Eheye, I am. Turn to the north and draw the pentagram, intoning Agala, Anotarion. Keep the arm extended. Turn to face the east. Extend both arms out in the form of a cross and say, Before me, Raphael. Visualize before you the great archangel of air rising out of the clouds in flowing yellow and violet robes, carrying a caduceus wand. Behind you, visualize another figure and say, Behind me, Gabriel. See the archangel stepping out of the sea like a goddess Venus, dressed in robes of blue and orange, with cup in hand. See to your right another figure in flaming red and green robes, carrying a sword. Say, On my right, Mikael. See another great archangel at your left, who rises up from the vegetation of the earth in robes of citrine, olive, russet, and black, holding stems of ripened wheat. Say, On my left, Uriel. Say, For about me flames the pentagram, and in the column shines the six-rayed star. Repeat the Kabbalistic cross as in the beginning. Magical work involves change in creation, and the subject of the magician's work is the self. The magician is the focus of his or her own alchemical processes. By adapting one's personal vision to reflect the macrocosm, we can change ourselves to better reflect those divine ideas. We may alter our body appearance, the chemical composition of our blood, and the configuration of our nervous system. We may tame the feral beasts that dwell within our organic structure. By changing ourselves to resonate with the divine, we may transmute every portion of ourselves and become as purified vessels for the eternal spirit. Rites such as the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram represent this spiritual goal. The LBRP explains this goal in mathematical and Kabbalistic terms. It sets a pattern for self-growth, which has a powerful influence on the subconscious mind. It symbolically places us in a correct relationship to the one divine source. And when we are in this correct relationship, it becomes much easier for us to fight off any hostile influence from within or from without. By continued practice of rituals such as the LBRP, we can produce the physical and astral conditions which will make it easier for us to realize our true place in the divine universe. The pentagram is a symbol of the Logos, or the Word of creation, which connects the essential divine self in humanity to the one divine self called God. The formulation of the LBRP. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is the ceremonial magician's way of casting a circle of protection. Some Wiccan groups will cast a circle around their sacred space by tracing it on the ground with a sword, or by sprinkling salt water around the area. But the ceremonial magician does this by tracing pentagrams around the circle with a specialized dagger or wand. The ritual begins with a brief moment of meditation to cleanse the mind and begin the process of creating a ritual atmosphere or sacred space. Then the magician performs what is called the Kabbalistic cross. This rite creates a cross of living divine light within the magician's aura. The cross is based upon the Kabbalistic tree of life, containing the spheres of Kether, Malkuth, Geburah, Chesed, and Tifereth. These also represent a balancing of the four elements within the magician's aura: Kether, air; Malkuth, earth; Geburah, fire; and Chesed, or Gedula, water. And although the name of Tifereth is not vibrated, the balancing element of spirit is indicated by placing the hands over the heart area. After the Kabbalistic cross, the magician traces the lesser banishing pentagram in all four quarters, beginning in the east and walking clockwise. The symbol of the pentagram refers to the four elements, crowned and completed by the fifth element of spirit. The pentagram is a symbol of protection. When traced, the pentagrams are visualized in flaming astral blue or white light. They are charged by stabbing through the center of the figure when the appropriate Hebrew words are vibrated. The pentagrams are connected to each other by an astral ribbon of the same color. Drawing these banishing pentagrams rids the area of all unwanted energies. The magician returns to the east and stands with arms extended in the form of the cross. He identifies himself with the Tau cross of life, a symbol of knowledge gained through sacrifice, but which is also related to the ideas of mercy and justice. Next comes the invocation of the four archangels. These archangels are associated with the idea of the divine creator governing the four elements in the four directions. Angels and archangels are considered specific aspects of God, each with a particular purpose and jurisdiction. They are humanized symbols of what we believe to be good and holy. Nearly all of the Hebrew angelic names end in the suffixes El or Yah. This indicates that they are of God. Raphael, the healer of God, is assigned to air. Gabriel, the strong one of God, is assigned to water. Michael, he who is like God, is assigned to fire. Uriel, the light of God, is assigned to earth. While the pentagrams are drawn for the purification of the circle, the archangels are invoked to consecrate the circle with the forces of the divine light. Before me, Raphael; behind me, Gabriel; on my right, Michael; on my left, Uriel. Then comes the statement, "For about me flame the pentagrams, and in the column shines the six-rayed star." The six-rayed star is the hexagram or Star of David, which is the star of the macrocosm or greater universe. It is formed from the two triangles of fire and water, and it symbolizes perfection and total balance. While the pentagram is the symbol of man, the hexagram is the symbol of perfected or purified man, balanced within the greater universe. This is followed once again by the Kabbalistic cross, which further strengthens and seals the cross of light within the magician's aura. Origins of the pentagram ritual. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram was a creation of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. However, various portions of the ritual are found to have far more ancient sources. In the New Testament, the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9-13, is obviously based upon Kabbalistic principles, showing that Jesus of Nazareth, who is called Rabbi by his followers, knew of his Kabbalah. This is because the Lord's Prayer is itself based on the Hebrew Prayer of David from the Old Testament, found in the first book of Chronicles 29:1. The prayer of David at the foundation of the temple reads as follows: "Unto thee, O Tetragrammaton, are the greatness and the power and the beauty and the victory and the glory. For unto thee is everything in the heavens and the earth. Unto thee, O Tetragrammaton, is the kingdom." This single verse mentions the name of several Sephiroth, including Chesed, Geburah, Tifereth, Netzach, Hod, and Malkuth. The Lord's Prayer from the New Testament states, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen." This is only slightly different from the Kabbalistic cross, which states in English, "Thou art the kingdom and the power and the glory, the world forever, unto the ages. Amen." The word Atah, thou art, is linked to the Sephirah of Kether, whose divine name is I am. Malkuth, the kingdom, is the 10th sphere on the tree. V'Gebura, and the power, refers to the 5th Sephirah of power. V'Gedula, which means and the glory, refers to Chesed, since glory, or magnificence, is another title of Chesed. Le'olam, amen, means forever unto the ages. This is very similar to the Christian sign of the cross. One important difference between the Christian cross and the Kabbalistic cross is that in the Hermetic version, Gebura, or the power, is attributed to the right shoulder, while in the Christian cross it is placed on the left shoulder. This points out a major difference in the way that a ceremonial magician approaches the divine self from the way that the average churchgoer and Christian Rosicrucian approaches God. Within the Judeo-Christian tradition, the image of God is seen as separate and outside of humanity. The image of God, as projected on the tree of life, is usually viewed as something out there, or something that is too sacred to be approached by sinful earthbound human beings. Thus, the tree of life as the image of God is sometimes pictured as the backside of God by the Orthodox religions. In other words, God's face is not turned toward humanity, or as the scriptures tell us, one cannot look upon the face of God and live. It was safer to image the deity from behind. Therefore, to the Roman Catholic, Gebura is on the left shoulder, and the same as the image of the tree seen from the back and outside of the human being. One Kabbalistic diagram often used to illustrate the idea of the divine on the tree of life is that of Adam Kadmon, the so-called Atziluthic or archetypal man. Adam Kadmon is the heavenly man or body of God. He is the divine prototype of humanity, which is circumscribed upon the tree of life. The crown of Kether is above his head, Malkuth is at his feet, Gebura is at his left shoulder, and Chesed is at his right shoulder. In his book Kabbalah, Tradition of Hidden Knowledge, Zev ben Shimon Halevi tells us about the diagram of Adam Kadmon. This reflection, however, like that in any mirror, is only a reflection and never the reality. Halevi says, quote, "The likeness of a man, Ezekiel 1:26, was used by early mystics to describe the divine glory. The figure of a primordial Atziluthic man, God's image, is the embodiment of the Sephirot. This, the most perfect image of divinity, is seen not as God, but as his reflection, and therefore a representation of his does not contravene the second commandment." End quote. Adam Kadmon is sometimes called the reversed tree. This is because several glyphs of the tree of life are shown with their roots in the supernals. Adam Kadmon is reversed from this, with his head in Kether and his feet in Malkuth. We also believe that he is the reversed tree because his image is reversed not only from top to bottom, but from side to side. If you hold the usual image of Adam Kadmon up to a mirror, you will see that we believe it is the true non-reversed image of the deity that it is forbidden by the orthodoxy to look upon. Gebura is on the right side, Chesed is on the left. Therefore, the traditional diagram of Adam Kadmon is a zelem, or reflected image of a spiritual reality, not that reality itself. Ceremonial magicians are not bound by the admonishments of orthodoxy, which state that one cannot view God from the front or look upon his non-reversed image. Theurgists view the usual diagram of the tree of life as the face or front side of the divine. The image of the tree is then reflected back into us, as if through a mirror. Thus Gebura, on the deity's right shoulder, is reflected to our right shoulder. This is because the magician seeks to bring the image of God inside the aura. This is a greatly simplified version of a magical operation known as the assumption of God forms, and it points out the difference between the exoteric beliefs of mainstream religion and the esoteric practices of ceremonial magicians. Commenting on the Kabbalistic cross in his book Transcendental Magic, Eliphas Levi, the man most responsible for the occult revival of the 19th century, wrote that this sign made after this manner should precede and terminate the conjuration of the four. The conjuration of the four refers to the four elements of fire, water, air, and earth. The four archangels in the LBRP are among the best known and most powerful of the Hebrew deities, and they are the governors of the four elements. The invocation of the archangels in the LBRP is very similar to an invocation in a Hebrew night prayer printed in an Orthodox Siddur or daily prayer book translated by Philip Birnbaum. The Siddur reads as follows, quote, "In the name of the Lord God of Israel, may Michael be at my right hand, and Gabriel at my left, before me Uriel, behind me Raphael, and above my head the divine presence." End quote. This clearly relates very closely to the calling of the archangels in the LBRP. Although they are in a different order, they are still the same archangels, carrying out the same duties. These orthodox correspondences may reflect an approach that is different from that taken by the Golden Dawn. They are undoubtedly similar versions of the invocation of the archangels still tucked away in Hebrew texts. What the pentagram represents. No one knows the exact magical origins of the pentagram, or pentalpha, as it is sometimes called in older texts. For centuries, the five-pointed star has been used as a symbol of protection and a talisman for health and well-being. It was popular among the Babylonians, Egyptians, Assyrians, and Hebrews. According to Eliphas Levi, the magicians of old used to draw the symbol upon their doorsteps to keep malevolent spirits out and the beneficent spirits in. As early as the 6th century BCE, Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher mystic, used the pentagram as a holy symbol for his followers. 5 was a number peculiarly associated with the ideas of marriage and union, as it is the first number beyond the monad, formed from the union of the first odd and even numbers, male and female. It is also said to represent the human figure with arms and legs outspread. The shape of a five-pointed star seems to be one of nature's favorite geometric designs. It can be found in flowers, fruit, and crystalline forms. In magic, the pentagram represents the four elements of fire, water, air, and earth, plus one other. In addition, the number 5 is attributed to the pentagrammaton, or five-lettered name. This is a natural extension of the tetragrammaton, the holy and hidden four-lettered name of God signified by the letters YHVH. In the pentagrammaton, the letter Shin is placed in the center of YHVH, resulting in the name of Yeshua. This is the name of Jesus in Hebrew, but more importantly to magicians, it is the four elements of fire, water, air, and earth, with the addition of the fifth element of spirit. The element of spirit binds together and governs the other four, which are the metaphysical building blocks of all that exists. The fifth element of spirit, also called the quintessence, crowns and connects the other four. It is spirit which transcends the others and makes the whole of the pentagram greater than the sum of its parts. Spirit is the divine and guiding principle. This is one reason magicians stress that it is important to keep the spirit point of the pentagram facing upward. To reverse it would be to subject spirit to the governance of matter. Thus the inverted pentagram signifies chaos and evil. Levi states that, quote, The pentagram signifies the domination of the mind over the elements, and the demons of air, the spirits of fire, the phantoms of water, and ghosts of earth are enchained by this sign. End quote. Elsewhere, Levi reiterates that the elementary spirits are subservient to this sign when employed with understanding. End quote. He continues, quote, if it be asked how a sign can exercise so much power over spirits, we inquire in turn why the Christian world bows before the sign of the cross. The sign is nothing by itself and has no force apart from the doctrine of which it is the summary and the logos. Now a sign which summarizes, in their expression, all the occult forces of nature, a sign which has ever exhibited to elementary spirits and others a power greater than their own, fills them naturally with respect and fear, enforcing their obedience by the empire of science and of will over ignorance and weakness. By the pentagram is also measured the exact proportions of the great and unique athanor necessary to the confection of philosophical stone and of the great work. The most perfect alembic in which the quintessence can be elaborated is conformable to this figure, and the quintessence itself is represented by the sign of the pentagram. End quote. Here Levi gives us clues about the numerical dimensions of the pentagram, for by it is measured the exact proportions of athanor, the alchemical oven which is used to obtain the philosopher's stone, a symbol for spiritual illumination and expanded consciousness. What is so important about the proportions of the pentagram? Though the number 5, the number of points on this figure, the pentagram is connected to the sphere of Geburah on the tree of life, and to its corresponding planet, Mars. The pentagram represents that fiery, purifying power of the divine that takes the name of Pachad, or fear, one of the titles of Geburah, whose other primary title is strength. Another higher function of Geburah is that of Din, meaning justice, judgment, or severity. The divine name of Geburah is Elohim Gibor, or God of Battles. According to Iamblichus, a Neoplatonic philosopher-magician of the 4th century CE, the pentad is highly expressive of justice, and justice comprehends all the other virtues. In his book, Numbers, Their Occult Power and Mystic Virtues, W. Wynne Westcott states that the pentad is called the Unconquered. Westcott also states, quote, Proclus on Hesiod gives 2 reasons for its semblance to justice, because it punishes wrong and it takes away inequality of possession, and also equalizes what is less to benefit. End quote. Thus the number 5 provides us with the ideas of fear, strength, severity, power, and justice. The awesome energy of Geburah can strike fear into the minds of negative powers and those who do not understand its harsh, purifying, and equilibrating power. Eliphas Levi tells us that the pentagram is a potent sign that extends its power over the elementary intelligences that inhabit the astral realms. Quote, the pentagram exercises a great influence upon spirits and terrifies phantoms. End quote. However, to the magician who uses it with a divine intent, the pentagram is a potent symbol of strength and justice. The pentagram has always been misunderstood and feared by those who do not comprehend its sacred meaning. Quote, we proceed to the explanation and consecration of the sacred and mysterious pentagram. At this point, let the ignorant and superstitious close the book. They will either see nothing but darkness, or they will be scandalized. The pentagram, which in the Gnostic schools is called the blazing star, is the sign of intellectual omnipotence and autocracy. It is the star of the Magi. It is the Word made flesh. The sign of the pentagram is also the sign of the microcosm, and it represents what the Kabbalists of the book Zohar term the microposupus. The complete comprehension of the pentagram is the key of the 2 worlds. It is absolute philosophy and natural science. As will be seen, all mysteries of magic, all symbols of the gnosis, all figures of occultism, all Kabbalistic keys of prophecy are summed up in the sign of the pentagram, which Paracelsus proclaims to be the greatest and most potent of all signs. End quote. Gematria of the pentagram. One way to study the pentagram is through the use of gematria, or human numerology that is concerned with the numerical value of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Words and images that have the same value are thought to be related. By its number, 5, the pentagram is connected to Geburah and to the Hebrew letter He, a symbol of creative power. Through the letter He, the pentagram becomes a symbol of intuition and understanding. But it is also a symbol of sight, which is the sense attributed to He. Therefore, it is the magical symbol of true vision. The letter He is also connected with the sign of Aries, the warrior protector, and the tarot card, the Emperor, who is the ruler and executor of the divine law. In human physiology, Aries is especially referred to the head, symbolized by the uppermost point of spirit in the pentagram. Aries is ruled by Mars, and its exaltation is the sun, the symbolic source of all light. This again leads us to ideas of strength and protection through the warrior energy of Mars Aries, as well as solar light and health. Another word associated through gematria with the number 5 is Baba, meaning gate. The 5th key of the tarot is the card of the Hierophant, who is the teacher, the expounder of the mysteries, and the channel for spiritual instruction. There are other numbers associated with this figure as well. Refer to the diagram of the pentagram and its enclosing pentagon. The pentagon is a figure that is implied, if not actually traced, when drawing a pentagram. In length, every line of the pentagon is composed of 13 units. The number 13 is associated with a multitude of occult references. 12 spheres are needed to surround a central 13th sphere. Moses and the 12 tribes of Israel, Jesus and the 12 apostles, the sun and the 12 signs of the zodiac. In addition, many important Kabbalistic words have the numerical value of 13, including achad, unity, ahava, love. Other words tied to this number include gaha, healing or health, ziv, glory, and hege, to separate or to imagine. The 13th key of the tarot is titled Death, and it is attributed to Scorpio, transformation and change. The 13th path of the Sefer Yetzirah, an important Kabbalistic text, corresponds to the tarot card of the High Priestess and is attributed to the moon. This path is the primary conduit by which the higher divine consciousness flows down to lower levels. It is also a path of change. Interestingly, 13 multiplied by 2 is 26, the value of YHVH, and Kabed, to honor. The 26th path of the Sefer Yetzirah is attributed to the tarot card of the devil, to which is assigned the powers of material force and generation. 13 multiplied by 3 is 39, the value of YHVH, Achad, or Jehovah is one. 13 multiplied by 4 is 52, the number of Jehovah spelled out. It is also the value of Ima, the supernal mother, and Ben, the reconciling son. Finally, 13 multiplied by 5, the number of lines that comprise the pentagon, is 65, the number associated with Adonai. It is also the number formed by the Latin letters for light, LVX. L equals 50, V equals 5, X equals 10. The whole of the figure can be described as a sigil of the name of Adonai, or the light of LVX. 65 is also the number associated with the Hebrew words Hekel, meaning temple or palace. The Zohar tells us that Adonai is the place of Yahweh. Has, to be silent, Dumia, silence, and Yam, Gam Yechad, together in unity. The long segment of each line of the pentagram is 8 units in length. The number 8 corresponds to the Sephira of Had, the sphere of intellect, communication, words of power, and magic. It also corresponds to the Hebrew letter Cheth, which means fence or enclosure, pointing to further protective qualities. The 8th key of the tarot is titled Strength. It is a fiery path which leads to the sphere of Gabura. Through gematria, the number 8 is associated with the word agad, to bind. The shorter segment of each line of the pentagram is 5 units in length, affirming once again the same ideas stated above. The actual pentagram is comprised of 5 lines which are each 21 units in length. The 21st key of the tarot is called the universe, and it is the completion of cosmic manifestation. 21 is the value of Eheye, the divine name of Kether. Eheye is one of the highest names that is associated with the act of creation. Other words that correspond to the number 21 are Hagig, meditation, and Kezev, vision. The 21st path of the Sefer Yetzirah is called the Wheel of Fortune, and it is attributed to the planet Jupiter. In addition, the mystic number of Tifereth is 21. The total length of all lines in the pentagram, 21 multiplied by 5, is 105, which is formed by adding all the numbers from 1 to 14. The 14th key of the tarot is Temperance, the card of the HGA, or higher self. The 14th path of the Sefer Yetzirah is attributed to Daleth, the door of initiation. 14 is also a number associated with the Hebrew words atad, thorn, the piercer, debak, sacrifice, geyi, rising earth, dai, abundance, David, beloved, habhab, sacrificial offering, hada, to direct with the hand, yad, hand, and zahav, gold. Other words associated with the number 105 are hepek, to change or transform, pekeh, to flow or pour forth, and tsiyah, to glow, to burn, or to glitter. So what does all this mean? In tracing a pentagram, the magician invokes the power of Eheye. This is a glittering, glorious power that pours forth abundantly, pierces and binds all negativity, encloses and separates the pure from the impure, opens and closes gates or doors between different worlds, gives rise to meditation, visions, love, unity, and healing. And to the magician who silences the chatter of his mind, sacrifices his lower desires, and aligns himself with the divine will. It can be employed with justice as a potent force for transformation, generation, and change, particularly on the material or earth plane, which can be directed by the hand and used to obtain spiritual gold. Through the number 5, the creative He, and the 5 elements. Eheye, as asserted through the tracing of a pentagram, is an expression of the 5-fold existence of the power of the divine self and the light, LVX, of Adonai, who is the place of YHVH. It is that which created the cosmos and which rules over it with justice and strength, permeating every aspect of creation. Everything in the universe is composed of the one true self, which is both the power that transforms and the object of the transformation. Divine Hebrew names associated with the LBRP. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is said to be most effective in the Kabbalistic realm of Asai, the physical active world that is associated with the 10th Sphira of Malkuth. This is the realm in which we live and function. Malkuth is said to contain the 4 elements of the manifest universe. This is why in many drawings, Malkuth is shown divided into 4 sections. The sub-elements are air of Malkuth, water of Malkuth, fire of Malkuth, and earth of Malkuth. But for our purposes, it would be better to refer to them simply as air, fire, water, and earth, the elements of our physical plane. With respect to the entire tree of life, Malkuth is the only Sephirah to which is assigned the element of earth. This is why the banishing earth pentagram is in particular is used through the LBRP. However, in this instance, it would be better to refer to the pentagram used in this ritual as the lesser banishing pentagram to avoid confusion. All of the divine Hebrew names intoned in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram are composed of 4 letters, and the specific names used are attributed to the 4 sub-elements of Malkuth. The name of YHVH, the tetragrammaton, is vibrated after the pentagram is drawn in the east, the direction attributed to elemental air. Tradition tells us that YHVH is a symbol for the highest, most divine name of God. Therefore, it is appropriate that this name is vibrated in the east, the place of the dawning of the light. YHVH is our sunrise, our source of life. The east symbolizes elemental air, which has further correspondences with Mercury, the highest of the 3 alchemical principles. Alchemists often refer to Mercury as spirit. All this is in keeping with the idea of the highest name of God. Adonai, meaning Lord, is the name vibrated after the figure is traced in the south. This name is particularly associated with Malkuth, whose complete divine name is Adonai Ha-Aretz. The name Lord carries with it connotations of high rank, especially power, rulership, and dominion. Here the name is associated with fire in the south, the direction of the sun's greatest strength. This is a reminder that here on Malkuth, our immediate symbolic link with the Lord of light and strength is through the life-giving rays of the sun. The name of Ehe is vibrated after the western pentagram is drawn. Ehe, meaning I am, is the divine name of Kether. The west is the place of sunset, the completion of the sun's journey across the sky. It represents rest and peace. To the ancient Egyptians, Ra, the sun god, died each night when he entered Amentet, the west. The west is a symbol of the completion of the soul's journey and the goal of spiritual growth. Therefore, the west is an emblem of Kether, the goal which we seek throughout our incarnation on earth, and which we hope to reach at the end of life, when we, like Ra, journey to Amentet. The name Ehe, vibrated in the west, suggests that the goal of all esoteric work is the magician's complete identification with the true and eternal self of Kether. After the northern pentagram is drawn, the word Agla is vibrated. This is not really a word, but rather a notericon, which uses the first letter of each word in a sentence to form a single word. In this case, the sentence from which Agla is formed is Ate Gebur Le'olam Adonai. This means, Thou art great forever, my Lord, which is a powerful invocation, clearly calling upon all the might of Adonai to aid and guide us through the darkness of things unknown. Agla is vibrated in the north because this is the direction of the greatest symbolic cold, darkness, shadow, illusion, and the unfamiliar. It is the place of forgetfulness, dumbness, silence, and necessity, and of the greatest symbolical darkness. It represents all the dormant and unmanifested forces of the universe, as well as those which are hidden or veiled to us. These are forces which we are largely ignorant of. However, all things, manifest or unmanifest, light or dark, exist then, now, and always under the rulership of Adonai. This we affirm by the phrase, Thou art great forever, my Lord. How to draw a perfect pentagram. Refer to Figure 13, page 194, the diagram of the pentagram. 1. With pencil and straight edge, draw a straight or horizontal line on a piece of paper. 2. Place 2 points on this line that will be known as A and B. AB will be the length of the line between the earth and fire points of the pentagram. 3. Find the center of line AB and mark it with another point. We will call this point O. 4. From O, draw a line perpendicular to AB. We will call this new line OH. 5. Starting with point O, mark off a section of line OH that is equal in length to AB. The new point will be called C. 6. Draw a straight line from B to C and continue the line well past point C. 7. From C, measure off a portion of the new line that is equal in length to OA and mark it with another point. This will be point F. 8. The next part will require a compass. Starting at point B as the center, with lines BF as the radius, draw circle FKD bisecting line OH at point D. This is the spirit point of the pentagram. 9. Draw a line connecting A to D. Draw a line to connect B to D. 10. Adjust the compass so that the radius is equal to the length of line AB. 11. With B as the center, draw a semicircle toward the upper right-hand corner of the paper. 12. With D as the center, draw a semicircle toward the lower right-hand corner of the paper. This semicircle will intersect the previous one at point E. This is the water point of the pentagram. 13. With A as the center, draw a semicircle toward the upper left-hand corner of the paper. 14. With D as the center, draw a semicircle toward the lower left-hand corner of the paper. This semicircle will intersect the previous one at point G. This is the air point of the pentagram. 15. Draw lines to connect A to E, B to G, and G to E. Uses of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. In addition to its psychotherapeutic uses, the simple yet powerful cleansing ritual can be used as a protection against the impure magnetism of others. It is also a method for getting rid of negative thoughts or emotional distress. As a magician, you can make a mental image of a particular thought or disturbance and visualize it before you. One way of doing this is to project it out of your aura with the projection sign of a neophyte, also called the attacking sign. When the unwanted energy is away from you, you can prevent its return with the sign of silence or the sign of protection. Then imagine the negative form in the east and perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. See the form dissolve on the outside of your ring of flaming pentagrams. The LBRP can also be used to aid your powers of focus and concentration. While lying down, formulate yourself standing up in robes and holding a dagger. Place your consciousness in this astral form and go to the east. Make yourself feel that you are there by touching the wall, opening your eyes, and stomping on the floor. Then let your astral form perform the ritual, circumambulating the room and mentally vibrating the words. When you are finished, try to see your results astrally. Then walk back and stand behind your physical body and let your astral body be reabsorbed. In the beginning of one's magical training, the LBRP is to be performed daily for no less than a period of 6 months. In fact, it should be practiced daily by any magician, no matter how long one has been doing the work. Some Golden Dawn and Stella Matutina manuscripts suggest doing the invoking form of this ritual in the morning and the banishing form at night. However, we feel that the beginner needs to concentrate only on the banishing form. Beginners have a tendency to have their auras light up on the astral. They unknowingly attract all kinds of elementals at this early stage of the work. It's far more important for the beginner to know how to banish rather to invoke. Anyone can attract an elemental or energy form. Getting rid of it can be more difficult. The following section describes a number of different versions of the LBRP, including Egyptian, Greek, Gaelic, and shamanic renditions. An Egyptian pentagram ritual. The Egyptian Kabbalistic cross. Stand and face east. Imagine a brilliant white light touching the top of your head. Reach up with the index finger or blade of a dagger to connect with the light and bring it to the forehead. Touch the forehead and say, Entek Pau, meaning thou art he who is. Touch the breast and say, Ta Su Ten It, meaning the kingdom. Touch the right shoulder and say Ta Sak Hem, meaning the divine power. Touch the left shoulder and say Ta Djeser, meaning and the glory. Clasp the fingers over the breast and say Ta To He En Ha, meaning the world forever. Say Ned Je Her, meaning homage to thee. The pentagrams. Face east. Use a dagger or the index finger of your right hand to trace a large, lesser banishing pentagram. As you do so, vibrate Nud Je Ra Ye Be Ta, meaning gods of the east. Thrust the dagger tip or index finger through the center of the pentagram and vibrate Nef, air. Keep the right arm extended throughout. Never let it drop. The pentagram should be visualized in a flaming blue or white light. Go to the south and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Nud Je Ru Re Su, meaning gods of the south. Thrust through the center of the pentagram and intone Ash, fire. Go to the west and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Nud Je Ru Amen Ta, meaning gods of the west. Thrust through the center, intoning Mu, water. Go to the north and trace the pentagram while vibrating Nud Je Ru Me Ta, meaning gods of the north. Charge the figure with Ta, earth. Invocation. Return to the east and form the Tau cross. Say, before me Hathor, the mother of light, behind me Taum of the setting sun, on the right hand Sakmet, mighty lady of flame, on my left Happy Ware, the bull of the earth, for about me flames Sehej, a heaven of stars, and above me shines Tau Nud Sher, the star of God. Repeat the Egyptian Kabbalistic cross as in the beginning. Egyptian banishing rituals, alternative versions. The student may choose to replace the pentagram in the above ritual with symbols that retain a more Egyptian character. Rather than tracing the pentagram in the four quarters, the magician could draw the sign of the Ankh or the Wedjat, the Eye of Horus. Both were considered powerful amulets for protection. The Ankh is the symbol of eternal life, while the Wedjat is the symbol for health, wholeness, protection, and general well-being. To trace the Ankh in the air before you, start on the left side at the point where the circle meets the crossbar, and drawing in a clockwise motion, trace the circular head of the Ankh. Next, trace the shaft of the Ankh, leading from the middle of the crossbar to the lowest point of the shaft. Finally, start at the left point of the crossbar and move straight across to the right point of the crossbar. To trace the Eye of Horus in the air before you, start at the left point of the eyebrow line and trace clockwise. Next, trace the outline of the eye itself, starting from the left and proceeding clockwise, around the pupil, and back around the bottom of the eyelid, ending at the left side of the eye near the starting point. Then trace the lowermost line of the figure, starting from the right hand point and tracing toward the left. A Greek banishing pentagram ritual. The Greek Kabbalistic cross, Staros Kabbalistikos. Stand and face east. Imagine a brilliant white light touching the top of your head. Reach up with the index finger or blade of a dagger to connect with the light and bring it to the forehead. Touch the forehead and say, Su estin, meaning thine is. Touch the breast and say, He Basileia, meaning the kingdom. Touch the right shoulder and say, Kai He Din Mis, meaning and the power. Touch the left shoulder and say, Ki He Doxa, meaning and the glory. Clasp the fingers over the breast and say, Ace tus ionas ton I on, meaning to the aeon of aeons. Say, Amen. The pentagrams. Face east. Use dagger or the index finger of the right hand to trace a large, lesser banishing pentagram. As you do so, vibrate Theos Air, divine air. Thrust the dagger tip or index finger through the center of the pentagram and vibrate Pneuma, spirit. Go to the south and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Theon Pier, divine fire. Thrust through the center of the pentagram and intone Psyche, soul. Go to the west and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Theon Hydor, divine water. Thrust through the center of the pentagram and intone Nous, mind. Go to the north and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Theage, divine earth. Thrust through the center, intoning Soma, body. Return to the east and stand in the position of the Tau cross. Say, before me, Aiolos, guardian of the winds. Behind me, Tethys, queen of the seas. On the right hand, Hestea, lady of the flame. On my left hand, Demeter, the great mother of earth. For about me flames Stephanos Asteron, a crown of stars. And above me shines the Trigona, the two triangles. A, E, O, U, A. The 7 vowels of the Greek alphabet, said by some to be the true name of God. Closing. Repeat the Greek Kabbalistic cross. Alternative Greek version, a Christian banishing ritual. The pentagram was used by Pythagoras and his followers as a sacred symbol. Thus it fits well into a Greek framework, such as that outlined in the ritual above. However, Christian magicians can easily employ a version that expresses their particular faith and also takes advantage of a Greek foundation. The cross, a sacred symbol of protection, can be readily substituted for the pentagram, as in the following ritual. To trace the cross in the air before you, begin at the shaft of the cross, starting at the top and drawing downward. Then start at the left point of the crossbar and move straight across to the right point of the crossbar. The Staros Kabbalistikos. Perform the Greek Kabbalistic cross as given in the preceding ritual. The flaming crosses. Face east. Use dagger or the index finger of the right hand to trace a large cross. Thrust the dagger tip or index finger through the center of the cross and intone Pater Haimon Ho En Tohes Oran Ho Is. Our Father in heaven who in the heaven. Go to the south and draw the cross again. Thrust through the center of the figure and vibrate Ho Krios Mataso. The Lord is with thee. Go out to the west and draw the cross. Charge the figure with Udes er che tai pros ton patera e me di mo. No one cometh unto the Father but by me. Go to the north and draw the cross. Charge the figure with Tu fos en te scotia Phi ne, the light shineth in darkness. Invocation. Return to the east and stand in the position of the Tau cross. Say, before me, Raphael, behind me, Gabriel, on my right, Michael, on my left, Uriel. For about me flames He Storos Tu Kleos, the cross of glory, and above me shines He Cha Ri T Tu Theos, the grace of God. Closing. Repeat the Greek Kabbalistic cross. A Gaelic banishing pentagram ritual. The Gaelic Kabbalistic cross. Stand and face east. Imagine a brilliant white light touching the top of your head. Reach up with the index finger or blade of a dagger to connect with the light and bring it to the forehead. Touch the forehead and say, Vuuk a Jruur, meaning from you, Creator. Touch the breast and say, Na Ri Uk, meaning the kingdom. Touch the right shoulder and say, Na Niarst, meaning the power. Touch the left shoulder and say, Sana Miha, meaning and the honor. Clasp the fingers over the breast and say, Atalov Gu Shior, meaning the world everlasting. Say, Falcha, meaning hail. The pentagrams. Face east. Use dagger or index finger of the right hand to trace a large, lesser banishing pentagram. As you do so, vibrate. Gua Anyar, meaning east wind. Thrust the dagger tip or index finger through the center of the pentagram and vibrate Ar, meaning air. Keep the right arm extended throughout. Never let it drop. The pentagrams should be visualized in a flaming blue or white light. Go to the south and draw the same pentagram while vibrating. Gu A Jays, meaning south wind. Thrust through the center of the pentagram and intone Che Na, meaning fire. Go to the west and draw the same pentagram while vibrating. Gu A Nair, meaning west wind. Thrust through the center, intoning Ushka, meaning water. Go to the north and trace the pentagram while vibrating. Gua Atua, meaning north wind. Charge the figure with Talov, meaning earth. Invocation. Return to the east and stand in the position of the Tau cross. Say, Before me, Dawn, Queen of the heavens. Behind me, Lear, King of the sea. On my right hand, Brigid, Lady of the ever-burning fire. On my left hand, Cernunnos, Lord of the forest. For about me are Najayan, meaning the gods. And in the center is Kochorum, meaning equilibrium. Repeat the Gaelic Kabbalistic cross as in the beginning. Alternative Gaelic banishing ritual. A circled cross may be substituted for the pentagram in the ritual above. The symbol has several meanings, one of which is the circle of the heavens containing the 4 elements or 4 cardinal points. To draw the circled cross in the air before you, trace the shaft of the cross starting at the top and drawing downward. Next, start at the left point of the crossbar and move straight across to the right point of the crossbar. Finally, start at a point on the left side of the circle and trace clockwise. A shamanic banishing ritual. Note, this ritual employs the names of deities from several different Native American tribes. The shamanic cross. Stand and face east. Imagine a brilliant white light touching the top of your head. Reach up with the index finger or blade of a dagger to connect with the light and bring it to the forehead. Touch the forehead and say, To Wakanda. Touch the breast and say, To Michabo. Touch the right shoulder and say, To Ayoshkeha. Touch the left shoulder and say, To Huope. Clasp the fingers over the breast and say, And to all the ancestors I give thanks. The pentagrams. Face east. Use dagger or the index finger of the right hand to trace a large, lesser banishing pentagram. As you do so, vibrate Waboon. Go to the south and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Manitou. Go to the west and draw the same pentagram while vibrating Kaboon. Go to the north and trace the pentagram while vibrating Inua. Invocation. Return to the east and stand in the position of the Tau cross. Say, Before me, Sila of the air. Behind me, Aululanerk, ruler of the waves. On my right hand, Abab Inili of the flames. On my left hand, Nokomis, the grandmother. For about me are the four winds, and upon me shines Utea. Repeat the shamanic cross as in the beginning. Chapter 10. The Middle Pillar Exercise. An abbreviated form of the Middle Pillar Exercise can be found in a manuscript that was given to initiates of the Stella Matutina who had attained to the portal grade. Long before this exercise became well known to many people, Regardie insisted that the Middle Pillar Exercise was a valuable and potent technique for self-growth. It may well be the finest method created for such a purpose. The basic introductory formula of the Middle Pillar can be easily adapted into a variety of exercises, with varying levels of complexity and spiritual development. This simple yet potent exercise is the foundation of a diverse number of magical techniques, and it can be layered with a virtually endless number of correspondences, leading to ever more complex ceremonies. A number of such rites are given in this chapter. There are also Greek, Egyptian, Gaelic, and shamanic renditions, as well as several exercises for healing. Additional Middle Pillar style rituals can be found in This Holy Invisible Companionship by Adam P. Forrest, and in our book, Experiencing the Kabbalah. The exercise of the Middle Pillar, establishing the pillar. This exercise can be performed either standing, sitting, or lying down. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the name Eheya, meaning I am. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Dath center at the nape of the neck. Form a sphere of light at the Dath center. Vibrate the name Yod He Ye He Elohim, meaning the Lord God. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Bring a shaft of light down from the Dath center to the Tifereth center around your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Yod He Vav He Eloah V'Da'ath, meaning Lord God of Knowledge, several times until it fills your consciousness. See the shaft of light descending from Tifereth into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the name Shaddai El Chai, meaning Almighty Living God, several times as before. Visualize the shaft of light descending from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the name Adonai Aharetz, meaning Lord of Earth, a number of times as before. Imagine the middle pillar complete, then circulate the light you have brought down through the middle pillar around the outside of your body to strengthen your aura. Perform each circulation a number of times. Circulation 1, side to side. Use the cycles of rhythmic breathing. Bring the light down one side of the body and up the other, from Kether to Malkuth and back to Kether. Exhale and visualize the light descending the left side of the body. Inhale and imagine the light ascending the right side of the body back to Kether. Circulation 2, front to back. After performing this for a short space of time, imagine the ribbon of light descending from Kether down the front of your body to Malkuth and raising up your back, returning again to Kether. Circulation 3, the shower of light. Still employing rhythmic breathing, visualize the sphere of Malkuth, then see the shaft of light rising up the middle pillar in the center of your body. When it reaches Kether, imagine a shower of light cascading down the outside of your body as it descends to Malkuth again. Circulate the light in this manner for some time. Circulation 4, the ascending spiral. Then see the light rise again in a ribbon that spirals around the outside of your body from Malkuth to Kether. Closing. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center, the seat of equilibrium and balance. You may decide to end the exercise with the Kabbalistic cross to indicate that you have called down the light of your Kether and balanced it in your own aura. Then let your imagination dwell on the aura and see it oval and clear, pulsating with the glow from Tifereth. This simple exercise of middle pillar is the basis for many complex formulas of magic. If you are called to see anyone who is ill, depressed, or who has a depressing effect on you, you should perform this exercise beforehand. You may also imagine that your aura is hardened at the edge, so that a person is unable to penetrate it and deplete you of vitality. When you have practiced the exercise of the middle pillar for some time, and you can visualize the spheres easily, you can establish the other Sephiroth within your aura by vibrating the deity names. The exercise of the middle pillar can be done as an alternative to the pentagram ritual as a preparation for meditation. The Middle Pillar Ritual by Israel Regardie. Copyright 1996 by Darcy Kuntz. Part 1. Spirit. 1. Relax soul, mind, and body. 2. Perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. 3. Formulate a flaming sphere of white brilliance above the head. Concentrate on this sphere. 4. Vibrate the divine names, Eheye and Agala. 5. Continue to concentrate on the white brilliance, and when you feel it is aroused, say, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth on me, though he were dead, yet shall he live, and whatsoever liveth and believeth on me, the same shall have everlasting life. I am the first and I am the last. I am he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive for evermore, and hold the keys of hell and of death. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but me. I am the purified. I have passed through the gates of darkness unto light. I have fought upon the earth for good. I have finished my work. I have entered into the invisible. I am the sun in his rising. I have passed through the hour of cloud and of night. I am Amon of the concealed one, the opener of the day. I am Osiris, Onophiris, the justified one. I am Lord of life, triumphant over death. There is no part of me that is not of the gods. I am the preparer of the pathway, the rescuer unto the light. Out of the darkness let the light rise. I am the reconciler with the ineffable. I am the dweller of the invisible. Let the white brilliance of the spirit descend. Visualize the brilliance descending into the body. 6. Vibrate Exarp Bitom Nanta and Hikoma. Part 2. Air. 1. See a shaft of light come down in the skull to the neck. 2. Formulate a flaming sphere of brilliant yellow and see the ball extend all the way through the neck and see it extend up into the head. 3. Superimpose on the yellow sphere the sign of Aquarius in the complementary color of purple. 4. Vibrate Yod He Vav He and the angelic names Raphael and Chasan. 5. When you feel the ball is alive and real, and spiritual power is pouring through you, and when you feel the power of the names, 6. Say the prayer of the sylphs. Holy art thou, Lord of the air, who has created the firmament. Shaddai El Chai, almighty and everlasting, ever living be thy name. Ever magnified in the life of all, we praise and we bless thee in the changeless empire of created light, and we aspire without cessation unto thy imperishable and immutable brilliance. Amen. Part 3. Fire. 1. See a shaft of light descend once more to the heart center or solar plexus. 2. Formulate a flaming sphere of brilliant red. See the ball extending from front to back. 3. Superimpose on the red sphere the sign of Leo in the complementary color of emerald green. 4. Vibrate Elohim and the angelic names Mikael and Aral. 5. When you feel the ball is alive and real, and the spiritual power is pouring through you, and when you feel the power of the names. 6. Say the prayer of the salamanders. Holy art thou, Lord of the fire, wherein thou hast shown forth the throne of thy glory. Yod he vav he Zaboath. Leader of armies is thy holy name. O thou flashing fire, thou illuminatest all things. With thy insupportable refulgence, whence flow the ceaseless streams of splendor, which nourisheth thine infinite spirit. Help us, thy children, whom thou hast loved, since the birth of the ages of time. Amen. Part 4. Water. 1. See a shaft of light descend once more to the region of the hips, the generative region. 2. See a flaming sphere of brilliant ultramarine blue. 3. Superimpose on the blue sphere the sign of Scorpio in the complementary color of orange. 4. Vibrate El and the angelic names Gabriel and Talahad. 5. When you feel the ball is alive and real, and spiritual power is pouring through you, and when you feel the power of the names. 6. Say the prayer of the Undines. Holy art thou, Lord of the mighty waters, whereon thy spirit moved in the beginning. Elohim Zaboath. Glory be unto thee, Ruach Elohim, whose spirit covered over the great waters of creation. O depth, O inscrutable depth, which exaltest unto the height. Lead thou us into the true life, through liberty, through love, so that one day we may be found worthy to know thee, to unite with thy spirit in the silence, for the attainment of thy understanding. Amen. Part 5. Earth. 1. See a shaft of light descend once more to the feet from about the ankles. 2. Formulate a flaming sphere of brilliant indigo. 3. Superimpose on the indigo sphere the sign of Taurus in the complementary color of pale yellow. 4. Vibrate Adonai and the angelic names Ariel and Forlak. 5. When you feel the ball is alive and real, and spiritual power is pouring through you, and when you feel the power of the names. 6. Say the prayer of the gnomes. Holy art thou, Lord of the earth, which thou hast made for thy footstool. Adonai ha-aretz, Adonai melech. Unto thee be the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Malkuth, Gabura, Gadula, Amen. The rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley. O thou who hidest beneath the earth, in the valley of gems, the marvelous seed of the stars. Live, reign, and be thou the eternal dispenser of thy treasures, whereof thou hast made us the wardens. Amen. Part 6. Circumambulation. 1. Circumambulate the light. See all the power in the feet center. See it rush up like water, powerfully pushed up as in a fountain. 2. As it rushes up, it takes all the power from each of the spheres on its ascent. So imagine as it goes from ball to ball, it takes all the power out of each sphere in turn until it gets to the white light. So this power will be a combination of all the colors, but see the sense of power rather than the color. The power remains a white power. 3. Make sure the power is circulating away from the centers, and the result will be that you have formed around you an aura by the power issuing up the shaft. 4. In the circulation of the fountain, the power goes up the centers. Then with the exhalation down the left side and the inhalation up the right side, exhale down the front of the body, inhale up the back of the body. This will cause the aura to be in a subtle state of great activity, the light pouring through and making it a great and dynamic power. 5. Close with the Osiris god form. Keep that as long as you like. 6. Perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Regardie's notes on the revised middle pillar ritual. Part 1. Spirit. The top center is above the head. Its color is white, and its divine name will be Hei and Agla. You will vibrate these names in the usual way and concentrate on the white light. After a few minutes, when you feel the white light has been aroused and you feel it vibrating, then recite the invocation, and in the last sentence, which says, "Let the white brilliance of the Spirit descend," you will vibrate the 4 Enochian names, Exarp, Bitom, Nanta, and Hekoma. These names should equilibrate the white light. Part 2. Air. Then see the shaft come down in the skull in the usual way into the neck, and in the neck you form another ball that extends all the way through the throat and neck, and this time you will see it colored yellow, which is the color of air. See in this ball the cherubic sign of Aquarius. Then you say the prayer of the sylphs. You visualize the light in yellow. Superimposed on that sphere, in its absolute complement of purple, you see the 2 lines of the symbol of Aquarius. You are to see these lines inside the yellow and purple color, and you vibrate Yod He Vav He. Follow it with the archangel, Raphael, and the angel, Chasan. When you feel the ball is alive and real, and you can feel spiritual power pouring through it, then say the prayer of the sylphs. Part 3. Fire. See your shaft descend once more to the solar plexus, or just above the end of the sternum, the little breastbone. See the ball extending from front to back, a big ball of red fire, a brilliant flaming red. See the shaft in white and the balls in different colors. The color of this center is red. This is the sphere of fire. I want you to see inside the center of this ball the symbol of Leo in emerald green and vibrate the name Elohim, then your archangel, Mikael or Michael, and the angelic name Aral. Vibrate the names, and when you feel their power, start on the prayer of the salamanders. Part 4. Water. The shaft descends once more to the region of the hips, the generative region, and there you will see another ball formed. This time it will be a very lovely ultramarine blue. When you have this sphere formed in blue, visualize inside the sphere the symbol of Scorpio in orange. This is the sphere of water. Then you vibrate the name of El. Then vibrate your archangelic name, Gabriel, and your angelic name, Talihad. Then the prayer of the Undines, Undines. Part 5. Earth. Then your shaft goes down again to the feet, and forms again in the feet another ball. The usual color of the element of earth is black, but since it is difficult to get a complement color of black, I am going to give you indigo. Superimposed on this will be the symbol of Taurus, in a very light yellow, the complement of indigo. The divine name is Adonai, which you vibrate. Then vibrate the archangelic name, Ariel, and the angelic name, Forlak. That will be followed by the prayer of the gnomes. Part 6. Circumambulation. Here you have 5 balls on the central sphere. When you get down to the feet, stop and see the shaft with the 5 balls all glowing. Then start what I call the formula of circumambulation. But the first method is to be the fountain. See all the power in the feet center, and then see it rush up from the feet center like the water in a fountain. As this power rushes up, see it take away all the power from all the other spheres on its ascent to the top. Then you can imagine as it goes from ball to ball, it takes all the power out from each sphere in turn until it gets to the white light. Then visualize it drawing up the power of the different centers, so it will be a combination of all the colors from indigo up. See the sense of power rather than the literal sense of color. See it. You circulate power from the different balls until it is a fountain. Make sure the power is circulating away from the centers. The result will be that you will have formed around you an aura by the circulation of power issuing up through the shaft. Then follow the other two methods. The circulation down the left side and up the right, and the circulation from the head down the front of the body, under the feet and up the back. Use the inhalation and exhalation. The aura will be in a state of great activity. The light is pouring through and making it a great power. In order to close, assume the god form of Osiris and keep that as long as you feel like. I want you to make the banishing ritual a habit. Begin and end every ritual with it. This middle pillar ritual can be done either sitting or lying flat. The Tree of Life exercise, the rite of 3 pillars. This exercise can be performed either standing, sitting, or lying down. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the name Iheye. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Maintain a strong visualization of the white sphere. Then imagine a shaft of white light descending from your Kether center to your Chokma center at the left temple of your forehead. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Intone the name of Yah, meaning Lord. Keep vibrating the name until it is the complete focus of your attention. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally across from your Chokma center to your Bina center at the right temple of your forehead. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Yod He Vav He Elohim a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Now bring a shaft of white light down diagonally from your Bina center to your Dath center at the nape of your neck. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Yod He Vav He Elohim. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Dath center to your Chesed center at your left shoulder. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name El, meaning God, a number of times until it fills your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Chesed to your Gebura center at your right shoulder. Visualize a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Elohim Gebor, meaning God of battles. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now bring a shaft of light diagonally across from Gebura to your Tifereth center, around the area of your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Yod He Vav He Elo Ha Vidahath several times until it fills your consciousness. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Tifereth center to your Netzach center at your left hip. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Yod He Vav He Zabaoth, meaning Lord of Hosts, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Netzach to your Hod center at your right hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Elohim Zabobaoth, Sabaoth, meaning God of hosts. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now see the shaft of white light descending diagonally from Hod into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the name Shaddai El Chai, meaning Almighty Living God, several times as before. Next, visualize the shaft of light descending straight down from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Vibrate the name Adonai Ha-A-Retz, meaning Lord of Earth, a number of times as before. Imagine the tree complete, then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Move the energy around your aura using the 4 circulations of light described earlier. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center, the seat of equilibrium and balance. The Rite of 5 Pillars. The following exercise is a very simplified method for exploring the idea of a 3-dimensional tree of life. Using this method, a total of 5 pillars are formed within the student's sphere of sensation. The 2 outer pillars of mercy and severity are duplicated, while the middle pillar remains the pivotal balance. The image of the tree of life is reflected onto the human body, so that the practitioner faces the archetypal image of the tree, which is in turn reflected behind him. Many more complex variations of the 5-pillar exercise are possible. This exercise is best performed either standing or sitting. After a few minutes of relaxation, vibrate the divine names of the middle pillar Sephiroth 1 time each, establishing the central column within your sphere of sensation. Then use the 4 circulations of light mentioned earlier to visualize and strengthen your aura, which extends several feet out from your physical body, a sphere of oval-shaped light. Once you have visualized the sphere of sensation, establish the 4 outer pillars which curve around the outer edges of your aura as follows. Return to your topmost center, Kether. Imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the name Ihie. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Imagine a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the right of your head. When this is fixed in your mind's eye, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the left of your head. Intone the name of Yah. Keep vibrating the name until both Chokmah spheres are glowing intensely with light. Now imagine a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the left of your head. When this image is fixed in your mind, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the right of your forehead. Intone the name of Yehovah Ha-Elohim. Keep vibrating the name until both Binah spheres are radiating with light. Next, imagine a sphere of white light at your Dath center in the nape of your neck. Vibrate the name Yahveho Elohim. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Visualize a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the right of your right shoulder. When this image is firm in your mind, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the left of your left shoulder. Intone the name of El. Keep vibrating the name until both Chesed spheres glow brightly with light. Next, imagine a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the left of your left shoulder. When this image is fixed in your mind, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the right of your right shoulder. Intone the name of Elohim Gibor. Keep vibrating the name until both Geburah spheres are radiating with light. Now imagine a sphere of white light at your Tifereth center around the area of your heart. Vibrate the name Yehovah Eloha Vedath. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Visualize a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the right of your right hip. When this image is firm in your mind, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the left of your left hip. Intone the name of Yehovah Zaboath. Keep vibrating the name until both Netzach spheres glow brightly with light. Next, imagine a ball of white light several feet in front of and to the left of your left hip. When this image is fixed in your mind, visualize a corresponding ball of white light several feet behind and to the right of your right hip. Intone the name of Elohim Zaboath. Keep vibrating the name until both Hod spheres are radiating with light. Next, imagine a sphere of white light at your Yesod center in the genital region. Intone the name Shaddai El Chai several times as before. Visualize a sphere of light at your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the name Adonai Ha-Aretz a number of times as before. Imagine the 5 pillars have now been fully established in your aura. Then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Circulate the light and energy using the same breathing/visualization techniques of the standard middle pillar exercise. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center, the sphere of harmony and equipoise. An Egyptian middle pillar exercise. Imagine a sphere of white light just above your head at your Kether point. Vibrate Nudjer Ao, meaning the great God self-produced. Keep vibrating until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Dath center at the nape of the neck. Form a sphere of light at the Dath center. Vibrate Neb-Eri Ket, meaning the Lord Creator. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Bring a shaft of light down from the Dath center to the Tifereth center around your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate Sia, meaning God of knowledge and wisdom. Intone the name several times until it fills your consciousness. See the shaft of light descending from Tifereth into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the phrase Neb-Ankh, meaning the Lord of Life. Do this several times. Visualize the shaft of light descending from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the phrase Nudjer Ta, meaning God of Earth. Intone a number of times as before. Imagine the middle pillar complete. Move the energy around your aura using the 4 circulations of light described earlier. Using the cycles of breathing, bring the light down one side of the body and up the other, from Kether to Malkuth and back again. After performing this for a short period of time, imagine the ribbon of light descending down the front of your body and rising up your back. Still employing rhythmic breathing, visualize the shaft of light rising up the middle pillar in the center of your body. When it reaches Kether, imagine a shower of light surrounding the outside of your body as it descends to Malkuth again. Circulate the light in this manner for some time. Then see the light rise again in a ribbon that spirals around the outside of your body. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. The Egyptian rite of 3 pillars. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the phrase Nudjer Ao, meaning the great God self-produced. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Maintain a strong visualization of the white sphere. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Chokmah center at the left temple of your forehead. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Intone the phrase of Atef Nudjer, meaning the Divine Father. Keep vibrating the name until it is the complete focus of all your attention. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally across from your Chokmah center to your Binah center at the right temple of your forehead. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the phrase At, meaning Great Lady. a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Now bring a shaft of light down diagonally from your Bina center to your Dath center at the nape of your neck. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the phrase Neb Ere Ket, meaning the Lord Creator. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Dath center to your Chesed center at your left shoulder. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the phrase On No Fur, meaning the good being, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Chesed to your Gebura center at your right shoulder. Visualize a sphere of light there. Vibrate the phrase Sma Keru, meaning the justifier. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now bring a shaft of light diagonally across from Gebura to your Tifereth center, around the area of your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate Siya, meaning God of knowledge and wisdom, several times until it fills your consciousness. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Tifereth center to your Nat Zak center at your left hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the phrase Wer Nefuti, meaning great of victories, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Netzach to your Hod center at your right hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the phrase Wer He Ka, meaning great of magic. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now see the shaft of light descending diagonally from Hod into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Intone the phrase Neb Ankh, meaning Lord of Life, several times, as before. Next, visualize the shaft of light descending straight down from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Vibrate the phrase Nud Jer Ru Ta, meaning God of Earth, a number of times as before. Imagine the tree complete. Then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Circulate the energy using the same breathing/visualization techniques of the standard middle pillar exercise. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. A Greek middle pillar exercise. Imagine a sphere of white light just above your head at your Kether point. Vibrate. Ego Emi. Keep vibrating it until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Dath center at the nape of the neck. Form a sphere of light at the Dath center. Vibrate Sophia, meaning wisdom. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Bring a shaft of light down from the Dath center to the Tifereth center around your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the word Gnosis, meaning knowledge. Intone the name several times until it fills your consciousness. See the shaft of light descending from Tifereth into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the word Zae, meaning life. Do this several times. Visualize the shaft of light descending from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the word Naos, meaning temple. Intone a number of times as before. Imagine the middle pillar complete. Move the energy around your aura using the 4 circulations of light described earlier. Using the cycles of breathing, bring the light down one side of the body and up the other, from Kether to Malkuth and back again. After performing this for a short period of time, imagine the ribbon of light descending down the front of your body and rising up your back. Still employing rhythmic breathing, visualize the shaft of light rising up in the middle pillar in the center of your body. When it reaches Kether, imagine a shower of light surrounding the outside of your body as it descends to Malkuth again. Circulate the light in this manner for some time. Then see the light rise again in a ribbon that spirals around the outside of your body. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. The Greek Rite of 3 Pillars. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the phrase ego eimi, meaning I am. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Maintain a strong visualization of the white sphere. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Chokma center at the left temple of your forehead. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Intone the word Theos, meaning God. Keep vibrating the name until it is the complete focus of all your attention. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally across from your Chokma center to your Bina center at the right temple of your forehead. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the word Theia, meaning goddess, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Now bring a shaft of white light down diagonally from your Bina center to your Dath center at the nape of your neck. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the word Sophia, meaning wisdom. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Dath center to your Chesed center at your left shoulder. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Agathos, meaning the good, a number of times until it fills your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Chesed to your Gebura center at your right shoulder. Visualize a sphere of light there. Vibrate the word crisis, meaning judgment. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now bring a shaft of light diagonally across from Gebura to your Tifereth center around the area of your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate gnosis, meaning knowledge, several times until it fills your consciousness. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Tifereth center to your Netzach center at your left hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the word daimon, meaning spirit, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Netzach to your Hod center at your right hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the word nous, meaning mind. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now see the shaft of light descended diagonally from Hod into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Intone the word Zaweh, meaning life, several times as before. Next, visualize the shaft of light descending straight down from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Vibrate the word Naos, meaning temple, a number of times as before. Imagine the tree complete. Then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Circulate the energy using the same breathing/visualization techniques of the standard middle pillar exercise. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. A Gaelic middle pillar exercise. Imagine a sphere of white light just above your head at your Kether point. Vibrate Croon, meaning crown. Keep vibrating until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Dath center at the nape of the neck. Form a sphere of light at the Dath center. Vibrate Theos, meaning knowledge. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Bring a shaft of light down from the Dath center to the Tifereth center around your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate Grinyas, meaning beauty. Intone the name several times until it fills your consciousness. See the shaft of light descending from Tifereth into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the name Bu Nungcha, meaning foundation. Do this several times. Visualize the shaft of light descending from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the name Re-Uk, meaning kingdom. Intone a number of times as before. Imagine the middle pillar complete. Move the energy around your aura using the 4 circulations of light described earlier. Using the cycles of breathing, bring the light down one side of the body and up the other, from Kether to Malkuth and back again. After performing this for a short period of time, imagine the ribbon of light descending down the front of your body and rising up your back. Still employing rhythmic breathing, visualize the shaft of light rising up the middle pillar in the center of your body. When it reaches Kether, imagine a shower of light surrounding the outside of your body as it descends to Malkuth again. Circulate the light in this manner for some time. Then see the light rise again in a ribbon that spirals round the outside of your body. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. The Gaelic rite of 3 pillars. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the name Kroon, meaning crown. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Maintain a strong visualization of the white sphere. Then imagine a shaft of white light descending from your Kether center to your Chokmah center at the left temple of your forehead. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Intone the name Gliocas, Gliocas, meaning wisdom. Keep vibrating the name until it is the complete focus of all your attention. Bring a shaft of light horizontally across from your Chokmah center to your Bina center at the right temple of your forehead. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Ciall, Ciall, meaning understanding, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Now bring a shaft of white light down diagonally from your Bina center to your Dath center at the nape of your neck. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Fios, Fios, meaning knowledge. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Dath center to your Chesed center, your left shoulder. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Iochd, Iochd, meaning mercy, a number of times until it fills your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Chesed to your Geburah center at your right shoulder. Visualize a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Neart, Neart, meaning power. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now bring a shaft of light diagonally across from Geburah to your Tifereth center around the area of your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Grinneas, Grinneas, meaning beauty, several times until it fills your consciousness. Next, visualize a shaft of light down diagonally from the Tifereth center to your Netzach center at your left hip. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Buaidh, Buaidh, meaning victory, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Netzach to your Hod center at your right hip. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Moralach, Moralachd, meaning majesty. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your mind. Now see a shaft of light descending diagonally from Hod into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Intone the name Bunait, Bunait, meaning foundation, several times as before. Next, visualize the shaft of light descending straight down from a Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Vibrate the name Rioghachd, Rioghachd, meaning kingdom, a number of times as before. Imagine the tree complete. Then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Circulate the energy using the same breathing/visualization techniques of the standard middle pillar exercise. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. A shamanic middle pillar exercise. Note: the 2 rituals that follow employ the names of deities from several different Native American tribes. Imagine a sphere of white light just above your head at your Kether point. Vibrate Wakanda, Great Spirit. Keep vibrating it until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Then imagine a shaft of light descending from your Kether center to your Doth center at the nape of the neck. Form a sphere of light at the Doth center. Vibrate Bax P, Baaxpee, spiritual transformative power. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Bring a shaft of light down from the Doth center to the Tifereth center around your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate Wakinyan, Wakinyan, light spirit. Intone the name several times until it fills your consciousness. See the shaft of light descending from Tifereth into the Yasod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of light formed there. Intone the name Amala, one who supports the world. Do this several times. Visualize the shaft of light descending from Yasod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Vibrate the name Nokomis. Intone a number of times as before. Imagine the middle pillar complete. Move the energy around your aura using the 4 circulations of light described earlier. Using the cycles of breathing, bring the light down one side of the body and up the other, from Kether to Malkuth and back again. After performing this for a short period of time, imagine the ribbon of light descending down the front of your body and rising up your back. Still employing rhythmic breathing, visualize the shaft of light rising up in the middle pillar in the center of your body. When it reaches Kether, imagine a shower of light surrounding the outside of your body as it descends to Malkuth again. Circulate the light in this manner for some time. Then see the light rise again in a ribbon that spirals around the outside of your body. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. The shamanic rite of 3 pillars. After a few minutes of relaxation, imagine a sphere of white light just above your head. Vibrate the name Wakanda, Great Spirit. Keep vibrating this word until it is the only thought in your conscious mind. Maintain a strong visualization of the white sphere. Then imagine a shaft of white light descending from your Kether center to your Chokmah center at the left temple of your forehead. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Intone the name Skan, Creator God. Keep vibrating the name until it is the complete focus of all your attention. Bring a shaft of light horizontally across from your Chokmah center to your Bina center at the right temple of your forehead. Form a sphere of light, white light there. Vibrate the name Ataensic, Ataentsic, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Now bring a shaft of white light down diagonally from your Bina center to your Doth center at the nape of your neck. Visualize a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Baaxpee, Baaxpee. Spiritual transformative power. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Next, visualize a shaft of white light down diagonally from the Doth center to your Chesed center at your left shoulder. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Aulanerk, Aulanerk, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from Chesed to your Gabura center at your right shoulder. Visualize a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Iosheka, Ioskeha. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now bring a shaft of light diagonally across from Gabura to your Tifereth center around the area of your heart. Form a sphere of light there. Vibrate the name Wakinyan, Wakynyan, light spirit, several times until it fills your consciousness. Next, visualize a shaft of light down diagonally from the Tifereth center to your Netzach center at your left hip. Form a sphere of white light there. Vibrate the name Pinga, the one on high, a number of times until it occupies all of your mind. Bring a shaft of white light horizontally from the Netzach to your Hod center at your right hip. Intone the name. Vibrate the name Tirawa, Tirawa. Intone the name until it is the only thing in your conscious mind. Now see the shaft of light descending diagonally from Hod into the Yesod center in the genital region. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Intone the name Amala, one who supports the world, several times as before. Next, visualize the shaft of light descending straight down from Yesod into your Malkuth center at the feet and ankles. Imagine a sphere of white light formed there. Vibrate the name Nokomis a number of times as before. Imagine the tree complete, then circulate the light you have brought down throughout all the spheres of the tree. Circulate the energy using the same breathing/visualization techniques of the standard middle pillar exercise. Finally, focus some of the energy back into your Tifereth center. Deities on the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is a magnificent map, a template of the divine universe. We encourage readers to experiment with the tree and apply their own layers of symbolism to its framework. New rituals based on the middle pillar exercise can easily be developed along these lines. The following list shows how the various gods and goddesses of several pantheons can be attributed to the tree. Bear in mind, however, that finding correspondences between one culture's spiritual system and another is an inexact science at best. The associations given here are only one of several that are possible. A list of deity correspondences. Kether in Egyptian is Nudjer or Ptah, Greek Aether, Roman Aether, Celtic Dagda, Norse Ymir, Hindu is Brahman. I'll put a list in the description below, but this is a list of deity correspondences where the Sephira corresponds with different cultures and their deities. Color and visualization. As Regardie stated in Chapter 5, once students are familiar with the basic exercise of the middle pillar and the three pillars, they can expand their practices by visualizing the Sephiroth in their appropriate colors. Kether is white, Chokmah is gray, Binah is black, Dath is lavender, Chesed is blue, Gebura is red, Tifereth is yellow, Netzach is green, Hod is orange, Yesod is violet, Malkuth contains earth tones of citrine, russet, olive, and black. Formulating the spheres in these colors will not only help to strengthen the reader's integration of their specific energies, it is an important element of certain middle pillar healing techniques. Symbols and other images visualized within the spheres often result in potent variations of the middle pillar exercise. Flower buds, either roses or lotuses, can be imagined to open into full blossom as the divine name of a particular Sephira is vibrated. For example, Tifereth could be imagined as a sphere containing a yellow rosebud. As the divine name of the sphere is intoned, the bud unfolds into a magnificent yellow rose. Flames, chalices, tools, gemstones, geometric shapes, and a host of other images could be visualized as well. The only limit on the number and variety of this exercise is the boundary of one's imagination. Consecration of talismans. One of the most unique methods of using the middle pillar exercise that was developed by Regardie was a tool for consecrating talismans. This method requires that the magician first activate the spheres within his or her body. Then, employing mental focus and rhythmic breathing, the magician can charge the talisman by transferring the invoked energy into the talisman. Talismans dedicated to a specific purpose can be fine-tuned by projecting energy from the corresponding Sephira and its appropriate color within the body. Healing rituals. It can be said that the middle pillar exercise is, by its very nature, a ritual for self-healing. Regular performance of this ritual, like the practice of the relaxation rites previously mentioned, can help alleviate the neuromuscular tensions that lead to more serious illnesses. This exercise can also be used to heal others as well. Regardie discovered that he could project healing energy to his patients by performing the middle pillar exercise beforehand. Keep in mind, however, that this should only be attempted by experienced practitioners. Don't rush into becoming a healer without first becoming proficient in the various preliminary techniques of relaxation, the LBRP, and the middle pillar. Magical methods of healing, like other forms of theurgy, involve a type of auto-hypnosis, wherein the magician is totally focused on the goal of the operation. It also employs the manipulation and movement of energies. Usually the healer extends energy to the recipient, where it works to remove psychic blockages, energy imbalances, or physical injuries/illnesses. The healer must be able to manipulate the subtle bodies of two people, his or her own and that of the recipient. Therefore, it is crucial that the practitioner be psychically sound and balanced. If not, there is a danger that 1. The healer will absorb the psychic ailment of the recipient, or 2. The healer's own imbalanced energies will be absorbed by the recipient, making matters worse. In the Golden Dawn, magicians were warned, it is better at first to keep your aura to yourself rather than try to flow out towards others. Unless you are particularly vital and well-balanced, you will only waste energy. So-called modes of healing and of doing good to others should be eschewed for a time. Such methods have a technique of their own and require trained and balanced minds and bodies to carry them out. Get yourself right before you attempt to interfere with others. This advice is as sound today as it was a century ago. A middle pillar healing ritual. Place 2 chairs in the middle of the room, one for you and one for the recipient. This can be done with or without the recipient being in the room with you. Perform the LBRP. Instruct the recipient to sit facing you, holding both of your hands in a relaxed and receptive manner, with eyes closed. You, the healer, then perform the basic middle pillar exercise. The names may be intoned verbally or silently. The recipient may also vibrate the names if he or she wants, but you are in control of guiding all visualizations and vibrations. The main point is that you are awakening the spheres within yourself, in order that you may then use this energy to heal the recipient. When the energies of the middle pillar have been fully activated within you, visualize within yourself the red sphere of Geburah in the area of your right shoulder. Silently vibrate the divine name of Geburah, Elohim Gibor. At this point, the recipient should merely be receptive and should not vibrate or attempt to activate his or her Geburah center. Once you have established the sphere of Geburah within your sphere of sensation, project a red ray of light from Geburah to your Tifereth center. Then project the red ray from Tifereth to the source of the ailment or infection. Visualize this ray purging the illness, purifying it with the fiery ray of Geburah. Visualize the source of the problem gradually being eliminated. When this is accomplished, project a ray of healing yellow light from your Tifereth center to mend the affected area and begin the process of healing. As you do so, mentally vibrate the divine name of Tifereth, Yevahava Eloah Vedath. Visualize health and vigor returning to the recipient. Close by vibrating, both you and the recipient, the divine names of the middle pillar exercise for equilibrium. Variations of the healing ritual. Version 1. Sit facing the recipient, but do not hold the recipient's hands. After establishing the middle pillar within yourself, hold your hand, whichever hand you favor, just in front of the affected area on the recipient. Your other hand may be placed on your Tifereth center. If needed, you may touch the affected area as you direct the red ray at it. Visualize the red ray being issued directly from Tifereth toward the affliction, or see it travel from Tifereth down your arm to the source of the problem. Have the recipient sit with his or her back to you. After establishing the middle pillar within yourself, establish it in the recipient by placing your hands just in front of their corresponding spheres. Version 3. Rather than using a red ray from Geburah, try using a blue ray from the watery sphere of Chesed to wash away the source of infection and cleanse the area. Version 4. Visualize your own inner Sephiroth in their king scale colors. Your Geburah will be orange, and your Tifereth will be rose pink. Their corresponding rays of light will also be projected in these colors. The recipient's Sephiroth can be visualized in the queen scale colors, their usual colors, or simply white. Version 5. Incorporate massage therapy into the exercise. Have the recipient lie down, face up or face down, on a massage table or on a blanket on the floor. Walk the recipient through one of the relaxation techniques given earlier, but combine it with healing massage techniques. Then, after establishing the middle pillar within yourself, establish it in the recipient by placing your hands on the sphere centers of the person and applying a slight pressure. Charge the recipient's Sephiroth by silent vibration of the divine names. Project a white ray of light from your Tifereth center, directly or through your hands, into each sphere to charge them. See these spheres in their usual queen scale colors, or simply white. Then bring a ray of light from Geburah, in one of the appropriate colors mentioned above, into your Tifereth center and project it into the afflicted area with usual visualizations. Visualize the source of the problem being eliminated. When this is accomplished, project a ray of healing light from your Tifereth center to mend the affected area and begin the process of healing. Close by gently massaging the entire body and silently vibrating the divine names of the middle pillar for equilibrium. Appendix. The Musical Kabbalah. Musical Notes for Hebrew Letters. Copyright 1996 by Thom Parrott. The musical correspondences for the Hebrew letters in the Musical Kabbalah come from the Golden Dawn notebooks of Alan Bennett. Among Bennett's students were Dion Fortune and Aleister Crowley. Paul Foster Case applied these correspondences to form a system of invocation and healing, which is still being taught by the builders of the Adiatum, BOTA. In the Golden Dawn system, 4 scales of color are used, each one assigned the 12 astrological signs, the 7 ancient planets, and the 3 most ancient elements. In Western music, the scale is divided into 12 semitones. Bennett assigned the 12 semitones of the chromatic scale, chroma is Greek for color, to the 12 signs, beginning with the note C and the sign Aries. As each of the signs had a color associated to it, Bennett had, by this process, derived colors for each of the musical notes as well. Since all the colors allotted to the planets and elements were included in the 12 colors of the rainbow associated with the signs, they were assigned notes based on color in the king scale of the Golden Dawn. Thus, color red, note C, sign Aries, planet Mars, element fire. And moving down the list, red orange, C sharp, Taurus. Orange, D, Gemini, Sun. Yellow orange, D sharp, Cancer. Yellow, E, Leo, Mercury, air. Yellow green, F, Virgo. Green, F sharp, Libra, Venus. Blue green, G, Scorpio. Blue, G sharp, Sagittarius, Moon, water. Blue violet, A, Capricorn, Saturn. Violet, A sharp, Aquarius, Jupiter. Red violet, B, Pisces. In the Golden Dawn system, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet are each associated with a sign, planet, or element. By extending the correspondences in the preceding chart to the associated Hebrew letters, we get the following, and I'll include this in the description below. Hebrew name: Aleph, note; E, astrology, air, color, yellow; Beth, E, Mercury, yellow; Gimel, G sharp, moon, blue; Daleth, F sharp, Venus, green; Hey, C, Aries, red; Vav, C sharp, Taurus, red-orange; Zayin, D, Gemini, orange; Cheth, D sharp, Cancer, yellow-orange; Teth, E, Leo, yellow; Yod, F, Virgo, yellow-green; Kaf, A sharp, Jupiter, violet; Lamed, F sharp, Libra, green; Mem, G sharp, water, blue; Nun, G, Scorpio, blue-green; Semek, G sharp, Sagittarius, blue; Ayin, A, Capricorn, blue-violet; Pe, C, Mars, red; Zadi, A sharp, Aquarius, violet; Kuf, B, Pisces, red-violet; Resh, D, Sun, orange; Shin, C, fire, red-violet. Red. Tav, A, Saturn, blue-violet. In assigning the notes, no octave is specified. I have chosen to set the music between middle C and the B above it, dropping below middle C occasionally for melodic convenience. While I chose this particular range arbitrarily and purely for the sake of convenience, I also enjoy the melodies it produces, and I have experienced their power both alone and in a formal ceremonial hall with a dozen experienced ceremonial Kabbalists. It would be equally valid to use the 12 tones from G to F sharp above it, for instance, or any other octave. If singing, chanting, the names as written here is too high or too low for your voice, don't transpose. Reset the same notes beginning your octave at the comfortable bottom of your range. You will get a somewhat different but equally valid melody. In chanting the various words and names, sing one note for each Hebrew letter, regardless of the normal pronunciation of the word. The syllable you produce for each note is derived from the pure sound of the letter and the sound it has in context. For example, Hebrew letters is usually spelled and pronounced Elohim. 5 letters are reduced to 3 syllables. In chanting this name, 5 letters get 5 syllables. Elohim. Hebrew is written right to left. Because music and English are both written left to right and need to be written parallel with the Hebrew letters, the Hebrew words are spelled backward, left to right. For example, Elohim becomes inverted. A single bar denotes the end of a word within a name containing 2 or more words, while a double bar denotes the end of a name. For example, Elohim / Gibor //. Take a short inhalation at a single bar and a deep inhalation at a double bar. All notes are written as whole notes. In practice, the notes should have equal or similar length and emphasis. Sing slowly and reverently. Smiling while you sing gives a sweeter tone to your voice and greater clarity and power to the words. Make a joyful noise unto all ye hosts. Glossary. Abyss. A chasm or gulf which separates the 3 supernal sephirah from the rest of the spheres on the tree of life. Considered a division between the noumenal and the phenomenal. Adonai. Hebrew word for Lord, associated with the south and the LBRP. Adonai ha-aretz. Hebrew phrase for Lord of Earth, divine name associated with Malkuth and the exercise of the middle pillar. Adonai Melech. Hebrew phrase for Lord and King, associated with Earth and Malkuth. Agla, Hebrew notarikon for the phrase Ata Gebur Leolam Adonai, or Thou art great forever, my Lord, associated with the North and the LBRP. Augioides, Greek word meaning higher genius, usually refers to the HGA, or higher self. Ahi, see Ahi. Ajna, Sanskrit word meaning order or command, refers to the brow or third eye chakra. Akasha, derived from a Sanskrit word meaning to shine, the tattva associated with the element of spirit. Its symbol is the black egg. Amen, a notarikon or acronym for the Hebrew phrase Adonai Melech Na Amon, meaning Lord, faithful King. Its implied meaning is so be it, or so mote it be. Anahata, Sanskrit word meaning unstruck sound, refers to the heart chakra. Analysand, a person who is undergoing psychotherapy. Analytical psychology, a term used by C. G. Jung to describe his particular method of psychotherapy. Anima, an archetypal soul image, which is the embodiment of the reflective feminine nature of man's subconscious. Anima mundi, the soul of the world. Animus, an archetypal soul image, which is the embodiment of the creative masculine nature of women's subconscious. Apas, derived from the Sanskrit word meaning water, the tattva associated with the element of water. Its symbol is the silver crescent. Arau, a ruling spirit traditionally associated with fire, though in modern times associated with air. Archetype, often referred to in Jungian psychology to mean a pre-existent idea, mode of thought, or God form that manifests through the collective unconscious of humanity. Asanas, various positions used in Hatha Yoga. Asai, the Kabbalistic word of action and matter associated in Malkuth and the element of earth. Ata, see Ato, Hebrew word meaning thou art, used in the Kabbalistic cross. Ato, see Ata. Atziluth, the Kabbalistic word of archetypes attributed to Kether and the element of fire. Aura, a shell or layer of astral substance which surrounds and permeates the physical body, also called the sphere of sensation, see subtle body. Ariel, see Uriel. Bina, Hebrew word for understanding, referring to the third sephirah on the tree of life. Bitom, Enochian word associated with the element of fire. Bria, the Kabbalistic world of creation consisting of Chokma and Bina attributed to the element of water. Chakra, Sanskrit word meaning wheels or lotus flowers, refers to energy centers within the aura that correspond to certain glands or organs within the body. Chasan, Hebrew angel associated with the element of air. Chesed, Hebrew word for mercy, referring to the fourth sephirah on the tree of life, also called Gedula, which means greatness, magnificence. Chia, in Kabbalah, the part of the soul located in Chokma, which is described as the life force, divine will, and source of action. Circulation, movement in a circle or circuit. In the middle pillar exercise, light or energy is circulated around and through the body. Circumambulate, to walk around, especially as part of a ritual. Chokma, Hebrew word for wisdom, referring to the second sephirah on the tree of life. Collective unconscious, in Jungian psychology, those mental patterns and primordial images that are shared by all of humanity. Komam Anu, the name of an Enochian governor. Complex, a group of related, often repressed ideas and impulses that compel characteristic or habitual patterns of thought, feelings, and behavior, an exaggerated or obsessive concern or fear. Conscious, the component of waking awareness, the state of being awake and perceptive. Consciousness, one's personal or collective identity consisting of many levels of conscious and unconscious realities, To expand one's consciousness implies gaining access and or awareness of these various levels. Conscious self, the ego or point of self-awareness. Dath, Hebrew word for knowledge, the so-called invisible sephirah on the tree of life. Dath is not really a sephirah, but rather a conjunction of the energies of Chokmah and Bina. It can be likened to a passageway across the abyss. Divine self, our true, pure, transcendent self, which contains a spark of divinity. Dharana, Sanskrit word meaning holding, refers to the yogic discipline of concentration on an object or symbol. Ego, that portion of the psyche which is conscious, most directly governs thought and behavior, and is most concerned with outer reality, also called the conscious self. Ahiye, Hebrew word meaning I am, divine name associated with Kether and employed in the exercise of the middle pillar. El, or Al, Hebrew word meaning God, divine name associated with Chesed. Elarx Arpe, name of an Enochian governor. Elohim, Hebrew word meaning gods. Elohim Gabor, Hebrew phrase meaning Almighty God, divine name associated with Gabura. Elohim Zaboath, Hebrew phrase meaning God of armies, divine name associated with Hod. Ens, the one, or the essence. Exarp, Enochian word associated with the element of air. Field of consciousness, the incessant flow of observable images, feeling, thoughts, sensations, and impulses. Free association, a spontaneous, logically unconstrained, and undirected association of ideas, emotions, and feelings. A psychoanalytic technique in which a patient's articulation of free associations is encouraged in order to reveal unconscious thoughts and emotions, such as traumatic experiences that have been repressed. Gabriel, Hebrew archangel of elemental water. Galgal, Hebrew word meaning whirling. The plural form is Galgalim, referring to the Sephiroth as they exist within the human aura or sphere of sensation. Gebura, human word for power or severity, referring to the fifth Sephirah on the tree of life. The phrase Vigebura, meaning and the power, is used in the Kabbalistic cross. Gedula, Hebrew word for greatness, magnificence, a title of Chesed. The phrase Vegedula, meaning and the glory, is used in the Kabbalistic cross. Gematria, a form of Hebrew numerology that uses the numerical values of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Gevura, see Gebura. Gnomes, elemental spirits of earth. Great work, a term borrowed from alchemy's magna opus, refers to the path of human spiritual evolution, growth, and illumination. Geupth, the lowest part of the soul, centered in Malkuth, a low level of subconscious intelligence which is closely tied to the physical body. Hikoma, Enochian word associated with the element of water. Heilsweg, a German word which means sacred way. It was a term used by Jung to describe a method for psychological healing and individuation. Hermetic, of or relating to Hermes Trismegistus, or the works ascribed to him, having to do with the occult sciences, especially alchemy, astrology, and magic deriving from Western sources, Hebrew, Egyptian, and Greek. HGA, Holy Guardian Angel, see Higher Self. Higher Self, a personification of the transcendent spiritual self that is said to reside in Tifereth and mediate between the divine self and the lower personality, sometimes referred to as the Holy Guardian Angel, the lower genius, and the Iogeoides. Higher unconscious, see superconscious. Hod, Hebrew word for splendor, referring to the eighth Sephirah on the tree of life. Hypnosis, a sleep-like state, usually induced by another person, in which the subject may experience forgotten or suppressed memories, hallucinations, and heightened suggestibility. Id, according to Freud, an unconscious division of the psyche which functions as the origin of instinctual impulses and demands for instant gratification of primal needs. See Nefesh. Ida, a primary nadi which starts at left nostril, goes to the crown of the head, crosses back and forth through the chakras, and terminates at the base of the spine on the left side. Individuation, the process by which a person becomes self-realized or differentiated as a separate indivisible unity or whole which contains all aspects of the self. Jagrata, the fourth and lowest world of consciousness according to Hindu tradition, the physical world. Kether, Hebrew word for crown, referring to the first sephira on the tree of life. Kundalini, Sanskrit word meaning serpent power, a fiery transformative power that resides in the base chakra. The yogic practice known as raising the Kundalini to connect with all the chakras is said to unleash a great amount of energy. LBRP, lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Le'olam Amen, Hebrew phrase meaning roughly the world forever unto the ages. See Amen. Libido. According to Freud, it is the sexual urge, but according to Jung, it is the total of all psychic energy and vitality, and its expression is through instinct, desire, and function. Logos, a Greek word meaning word. To the Gnostics, this was the term for deity manifest in the universe, the creative principle and underlying law of the universe. Lower unconscious, an unconscious part of the psyche which contains fundamental drives, primitive urges, and complexes. See Id Nefesh. Magic, the art of causing change to occur in one's environment and one's consciousness. Willpower, imagination, intention, and the use of symbols and correspondences play a major role in this art. See Theurgy. Mana, power, great power, a Polynesian term for the magical force in nature, comparable to prana or chi. Mana, personality, a term Jung used to describe an archetypal figure of a person's psyche. Manipura, Sanskrit word meaning diamond or city of precious stone, refers to the solar plexus chakra. Malkuth, Hebrew word for kingdom referring to the 10th sephira on the tree of life. Metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that examines the nature of reality, including the relationship between mind and matter, substance and attribute, fact and value. Speculation upon questions that are unanswerable to scientific observation, analysis, or experiment. Mikael, or Michael, Hebrew archangel of elemental fire. Middle unconscious, an inner region similar and accessible to that of waking consciousness, the unconscious blueprint of the conscious mind. Monad, from Greek monos, meaning alone, single soul, one indivisible, sometimes used to describe Kether. Muladhara, Sanskrit word meaning basic. In Hindu mysticism, it refers to the root chakra. Nadis, singular, nadi, Sanskrit word meaning motion. In Hindu mysticism, it refers to a series of minute conduits which carry the vital life force known as prana. Nanta, a Nokian word associated with the element of earth. Nefesh, in Kabbalah, the part of the soul located in Yasad, which is described as the lower self or lower unconscious, contains primal instincts, fundamental drives, and animal vitality. See Id. Neshama, in Kabbalah, the highest part of the soul. The greater Neshama encompasses Kether, Chokma, and Bina, to which are attributed the Yechida, Chia, and Neshama proper. The highest aspirations of the soul, see superconscious. The Neshama proper, or intuitive soul, is found in Binah. Netzach, Hebrew word for victory, referring to the 7th sephira on the tree of life. Neurosis, any of various mental or emotional disorders arising from no apparent organic lesion or change and involving symptoms such as insecurity, anxiety, depression, and irrational fears. Not as detrimental as psychosis. A person with a particular neurosis can otherwise function normally. Notarikon, a Kabbalistic method for obtaining the hidden meanings of Hebrew words by viewing them as acronyms of phrases or vice versa. Oedipus complex, an unconscious sexual desire in a child, especially a boy, for the parent of the opposite sex, that is usually combined with hostility to the parent of the same sex. This complex, if unresolved, may result in neurosis and an inability to form normal sexual relationships in adulthood. Orgone, according to Reich, a vital life force which permeates all living things. Pentagram, a geometric figure based upon the pentacle, which has 5 lines and 5 points. Figures based on the pentacle include the pentagram and the pentagon. The pentagram, or 5-pointed star, is also called the figure of the microcosm, the pentalpha, and the wizard's foot. Pentagrammaton, a Greek word which means 5-lettered name, refers to the Hebrew name of Yeshua. Pentalpha, another name for the pentagram. Persona, a mask of the personality created by the conscious mind and presented to others as the real self. Forlach, an angel associated with elemental earth. Pingala, a primary nadi which starts at the right nostril, goes to the crown of the head, crosses back and forth through the chakras, and terminates at the base of the spine on the right side. Prana, in yoga, the vital life force which courses through the nadis of the human body. Pranayama, Sanskrit word for the breath way, yogic techniques for breath control and vital energy manipulation. Prithivi, the tattva associated with the element of earth. Its symbol is the yellow square. Projecting sign, also called the attacking sign, and the sign of Horus, one of the neophyte signs of the Golden Dawn. Protecting sign, also called the sign of silence, and the sign of Harpocrates, one of the neophyte signs of the Golden Dawn. Psyche, the Greek word for soul, the mind functioning as the center of thought, emotion, and behavior, and consciously or unconsciously adjusting or mediating the body's responses to the social and physical environment. Psychiatry, the branch of medicine that deals with the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of mental and emotional disorders. Psychoanalysis, a term coined by Freud to describe his method of psychotherapy. Psychology, the study of the mind, mental processes, and human behavior. Psychopomp, Greek word meaning guide of souls. Psychosis, a severe mental disorder with or without organic damage, characterized by derangement of personality and loss of contact with reality and causing deterioration of normal social functioning. Psychosomatic, from the Greek words psyche or soul and soma or body, of or relating to a disorder having physical symptoms but originating from mental or emotional causes. Psychosynthesis, a term used by Assagioli to describe his method of psychotherapy, which includes the use of symbolism and allegory, and which accepts the idea of the soul, the libido, and the imagination as essential aspects of the human being. Psychotherapy, the healing of the psyche, the treatment of mental disorders, with methods that revolve around the interpersonal relationship between therapist and client. Freud's psychoanalysis and Jung's analytical psychology are 2 forms of psychotherapy. Kabbalah, Hebrew word meaning tradition. Quintessence, the 5th essence, refers to spirit. Raphael, Hebrew archangel of elemental air. Repression, the unconscious exclusion of painful impulses, desires, or fears from the conscious mind. Ruach, Hebrew word for breath, air, and spirit, the middle part of the Kabbalistic soul, representing the mind and reasoning powers. Ruach Elohim, Hebrew for Spirit of God. Sahasrara, Sanskrit word for 1,000-petaled lotus. In yoga, it refers to the crown chakra. Some authorities do not consider it to be an actual chakra, although most modern practitioners do. Salamanders, elemental spirits of fire. Samasati, a form of Buddhist meditation that examines and cultivates the memory. Self-realization, complete development of or fulfillment of one's own spiritual and psychological potential. Sephiroth, Hebrew word meaning numbers, spheres, emanations, refers to 10 divine states or God energies depicted on the Kabbalistic tree of life. The singular form is Sephirah. Shaddai El Chai, Hebrew phrase meaning Almighty Living God, divine name of Yasod used in the exercise of the middle pillar. Shadow, the sum of all personal and collective elements which are rejected or refused expression in life and consequently unite into a somewhat independent splinter personality. Siddhis, from a Sanskrit word which means to succeed, accomplish. Psychic powers and abilities that most people are unaware of having, but which develop as the student advances on the path of yoga. Solve et coagula, Latin phrase meaning dissolve and coagulate, alchemical axiom which points to the practice of reducing a solid to a liquid and back to a solid again, used as a metaphor for the practice of psychotherapy and self-integration, or the magical processes of initiation and spiritual growth. Sphere of sensation, the aura, subtle body, the psychophysical circuitry of a human being through which the life force flows, energy blueprint for the physical body, sometimes called the astral body, etheric double, or body of light. Superconscious, according to Assagioli, the higher unconscious or transpersonal level of consciousness, which contains higher intuitions, inspirations, latent psychic functions, and spiritual energies. Superego, according to Freud, an unconscious part of the psyche which is created by the internalization of moral standards taken from parents and society. Supernal, celestial or heavenly. In Kabbalah, it refers to the 3 highest Sephiroth on the tree of life, which are often called the supernal triad. Sushumna, the primary nadi which starts at the base of the spine and runs to the top of the cranium. Sushupti, the second world of consciousness according to Hindu tradition, the causal world. Sutra, the Sanskrit word for thread, Buddhist or Hindu scriptures. Savadhisthana, Sanskrit word for dwelling place of the self, refers to the navel chakra. Swapna, the third world of consciousness according to Hindu tradition, the astral world. Sylphs, elemental spirits of air. Tabatom, name of an Enochian governor. Talahad, angel associated with elemental water. Talisman, an object which is charged or consecrated toward the achieving of a specific end, usually intended to draw something to the magician. Tao, Chinese for the way, the absolute or noumenal reality. Tattva, or tatva, Sanskrit word meaning quality. The 5 main tattvas, Tejas, Apas, Vayu, Prithivi, and Akasha, correspond to the 5 elements of fire, water, air, earth, and spirit. Tejas, Sanskrit word meaning sharp. The tattva associated with the element of fire. Its symbol is a red triangle. Talismatic, from the Greek word talismata, meaning talismans, usually refers to a created or visualized image of a deity or angel, particularly images that have been built using Hebrew letter correspondences. Tetragrammaton, a Greek word meaning 4-lettered name, refers to the highest divine Hebrew name of God, YHVH. Thaumaturgy, Greek word meaning miracle working, magic used to create changes in the material world. Theurgy, Greek word meaning God working, magic used for personal growth, spiritual evolution, and for becoming closer to the divine. Theurgist, God worker, a ceremonial magician. Tifareth, Hebrew word for beauty, referring to the 6th Sephirah on the tree of life. Turiya, the first and highest world of consciousness according to Hindu tradition, described as conscious meditative sleep. Transconscious, a term used by William Stoltz to describe the psyche's creative and intuitive imagination. Transference, in psychoanalysis, the process by which emotions and desires originally associated with one person, such as a parent or sibling, are unconsciously shifted to another person, especially to the analyst. Transpersonal, transcending or reaching beyond the personal or individual. Unconscious. In psychoanalytic theory, the division of the mind containing elements of psychic makeup, such as memories or repressed desires, that are not subject to conscious perception or control, but that often affect conscious thoughts and behavior. Undines. Elemental spirits of water. Uniting symbol, according to Jung, a symbol which portrays the union or successful integration of all parts of the psyche. Uriel or Ariel, Hebrew archangel of elemental earth. Vayu, Sanskrit word meaning to blow, the tattva associated with the element of air. Its symbol is the blue circle. Vegetotherapy, a Reichian method of therapy which uses deep massage to unlock muscular tension and release repressed material. Vibratory formula, a method by which divine names and words are intoned forcefully and with authority in a vibration. Visuddha, Sanskrit word meaning purity, refers to the throat chakra. Ya, divine Hebrew name associated with Chokmah. Yang, in Chinese Taoism, the positive active male principle. Yetcheda, in Kabbalah, the highest part of the soul located in Kether, and is described as the true divine self, the purest form of consciousness. Yeheshua, Hebrew name for Jesus, a divine name associated with the 5 elements of fire, water, air, earth, and spirit, referred to as the Pentagrammaton. Yesod, Hebrew word for foundation, referring to the 9th Sephirah on the Tree of Life. Yetzirah, the Kabbalistic world of formation consisting of Chesed, Geburah, Tifereth, Netzach, Had, and Yesod, attributed to the element of air. YHVH, 4 letters which stand for the highest Hebrew name for God, which is considered unknown and unpronounceable, often referred to as the Tetragrammaton. YHVH Elohim, divine Hebrew name of Binah, meaning the Lord God, associated with Daath and the exercise of the middle pillar. YHVH Eloah Ve'Dath, divine Hebrew name of Tifereth, meaning Lord God of knowledge, used in the exercise of the middle pillar. YHVH Zaboath, divine Hebrew name of Netzach, meaning Lord of armies. Yin, in Chinese Taoism, the negative, passive, female principle. Yoga, Sanskrit word meaning union, the Eastern science of physical, mental, and spiritual integration. We've reached the conclusion, the end of the book, The Middle Pillar, the 3rd edition, by Israel Regardie. This has been narrated by me, Michael Kuhlman. It's been great. Let me know if you've listened to the entire thing all the way through. And I'd love to hear what impact it had on you. So hopefully we can keep the discussion alive. Thank you very much for listening.